Welcome to the Bastard Sermon.
Welcome to another episode of the Bastard Sermon. This is one of your three hosts, Cody Hucker,
Patrick Seta,
and Luke Young.
And today we've got on Anthony Tank Mansfield. Give it up, motherfuckers.
Woo! Yeah.
Welcome back.
Clapping for myself like an asshole.
It's all good. Mansfield, if you're not familiar with him, is a Cincinnati-based artist. He's a former educator. He's a bad motherfucker. Former roller derby announcer guy and a Brazilian jiu-jitsu white belt?
White belt, yep. Getting my ass kicked by all sorts of old men that are way higher than me on the belt scale.
We'll get into all that shit, but before the mics came on, the reason we started this was you and Pat were talking about your tattoos, and you were just breaking down that story. Do you want to get back into that real quick?
So what was your original question?
So, do you ever have people like misidentify your tattoos where like they think it's something that it's not? Like I was, so the other day, this guy was like, "Hey man, like he's like, you have a bunch of tattoos." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, you got like a saber-toothed tiger. And I'm like, well, that's my first dog is the Motorhead logo. Yeah, man. Then you got like a knight. And I'm like, well, that's the Lord Humongous from the Road Warrior. Have you ever had anybody misidentify your shit before?
Not really on that specifically. Some people would be like, I like your Majora's Mask tattoo when I have that. But what really bothers me is when people come up and they just grab my arm and say, "What do you got, man? What do you got?"
Right.
And you just want to initially just say, "Fuck off, dude! Like, get off my bubble."
How many times has that actually happened to you, Pat? Like somebody just grabs your arm, starts lifting your sleeve up to look at your fucking tattoos.
Hold on 1 second.
We're losing headphones
There we go.
right
Hey,
now.
I'm back.
Yeah, there we go.
And you just lost me. Don't worry, I got it.
Don't worry. So basically, people will just come up, grab your arm. They'll just say, "Everybody good?"
Yep.
We're all good.
We're
back
good.
in.
Okay. So they'll grab my arm.
Wait. I'm just kidding.
Luke, you good?
Jesus Christ, Luke.
Hold on, I lost myself. I'm just kidding. This is over. All right, and so basically someone will grab my arm and try to just say, "What do you got there?" And, it happens, I would say, like once or twice a month sometimes. It just depends
Once
on,
or
like...
twice a month?
Yeah,
somebody
it happens a
fucking
lot.
lifts your sleeves
Oh,
up
yeah,
and just starts
dude.
observing your body.
I also,
Yeah.
and then people are like, "Check out what I got." And you're like, "Well, I didn't ask for this." And then they're like, "Yeah, I got this." And then they show you something. You're like, "What is that?" Where it's like something that like you're pretty sure that like a 4-year-old kid did, but it's permanently on their body.
Yeah, we were talking... That reminds me of a story. So the other week, I just started a new job, and we have this janitor that comes around, and he was basically... He said, "I like your tats, man," because I was wearing a polo that day and actually had them out. And I was like, "Thanks, dude." And then he was like, "Dude, I got one too. You like superheroes?" And I was... He's an interesting character. He's like, "You like superheroes?" I'm like, yeah, I love superheroes. Did you see Infinity War? Like trying to make conversation with this new guy at work. I'm trying to make friends. And then he lifts up his sleeve, and it's the shittiest Ghost Rider tattoo
Yes.
I've ever seen. It looks like it's been there for a decade.
Somebody drew it on your arm with a crayon type shit.
Yeah, it looked like it was a Sharpie that was like all washed out, And it was horrible. So it's interesting when people show you if they're shitty.
My uncle used to have fucking tattoos like that. Like,
Really?
he's passed away, so like I'm not gonna offend him or nothing and shit. But he had this fucking dragon going up the side of like a mountainside or whatever the fuck, and there's a castle in the background. But it's like everything is just balls to the gods and shit. But this thing is like all faded. Like whoever fucking tattooed it on his arm just looks like he stabbed it into his arm as hard as possible and shit. And I was like, "Chris, how did you get that done?" He was like, "Well, they sharpen a guitar string and get an RC car motor and fucking get the India ink out. And if you ain't got India ink checker pieces." I was like, "Were you in fucking jail when you got this tattoo? Like, what are you talking about to me right now?" Like, he's like, "Yeah, that was every other tattoo." He starts showing me this shitty Playboy bunny. And then he starts going on about how awesome all of his tattoos are. And I was like, I mean, I guess, but they're all fucking... It just looks like blotches of color on your arm that's completely faded and fucked up now. Like,
I've got a couple mistake tattoos too.
We all do.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
that's all my tattoos. All
Have
of
you
them.
ever had a cover up?
No. I'm of the belief that I got to put my body at a time in my life, and it's just part of the journey. So, like, even though it's fucked, it's there, and it's going to keep going. The closest I ever got was my first tattoo I ever got, which was like I was 18, so I designed my own, and then I went into a tattoo shop. I'm like, I want this, and the guy was like, "Well, we could redo this so it's a little bit better." And I'm like, I'm going to be an artist. And they were like, okay, get in the fucking chair. And then I got this like piece of shit, like clown's head in flame. Like, check that out, man. Sweet.
Wait, let me see this shit right now.
That's awesome.
What's
I
wrong
think
with
that's
that?
pretty dope,
I
actually.
ain't mad at it.
It's pretty bad. it's
Not that bad.
Compared to
I
your
like
standards
it.
of like what you want on your
yeah,
body,
but
right?
what I want. Yeah, exactly. So there's that. And I'm
Is
just
that
like,
your
"Man."
least favorite tattoo?
I got some other bad tattoos. But
Can we
yeah.
see all your bad tattoos right now?
I mean,
What can I say first, though, is I like your newest addition.
oh yeah, thank you, my dude.
It's
yeah,
awesome.
New boot goofing.
Yeah.
Reno 911, man.
I love that shit, dude.
What is it?
So there's a skit on Reno 911 where Dangle goes to Zapateria to get ostrich skin boots. He's saved up for 3 payments.
Is Dangle the blonde-haired one with the short shorts on?
Yeah,
all
the short
time?
shorts.
Okay.
And he like comes out and he's like, comes out and does like this little like prancy dance. He's like, I'm just goofing, new boot goofing. And he's like going across the parking lot. So I got a new boot goofing tattoo.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. Where'd you get it? On your leg or something?
yeah, I
You're
got
pretty
my
full
leg.
up.
Yeah, I'm getting there, man. Like not much left on the. My arms are done. My legs are done from the knees down. I got a little bit of room left on my right leg, and then the chest and the back and the ass are still going to be like big pieces. So I am running that around.
Are you ever going to do your hands or your neck or anything like that? Or are you worried
It's
about
gonna
it?
happen. Let's be honest. I tell myself every single day, like, I'm not gonna get much more, and then I'm like, you know what? I want a new fucking tattoo.
It might happen. I don't know, man. My wife, whenever I bring it up, my wife is like, I will fucking kill you. And I'm like, oh, man.
What if it's her name in Old English across your neck?
Yeah, dog. Yeah, get that.
Get her face on both sides of your neck.
Get a sad face on one and a happy face on the other.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
That's totally the way to do it.
I think that'd be funny. But no, I hear you. I mean, I want to get a lot of new tattoos, but I got one really shitty one that I have one cover. Actually, I have 2 cover-ups. But one night I was recording for this project I was in, Savages, and the guy that was at the studio, it was in his house, and he was doing tattoos. He just started, and I was drunk as shit. And I was like, I'll fucking get a tattoo in his fucking garage.
Yep.
And I still have a little bit of that left on my arm. But yeah, basically I covered it up with a big flower, and it just looks absolutely horrible. But I absolutely agree. Like, I want to keep some memory of it because, you know, it was an interesting time in my life.
Have you ever run into maybe with like super like hardcore gangster shit and they start talking to you?
Oh yeah, with like guns strapped underneath them.
No, like one time like I ran into like an area
Like gun tattoos.
Yeah.
Gun tattoos like on the waistline. Stupid.
Like one time I was at my friend's wedding and we were hanging out at the hotel bar afterwards, and my buddy was trying to make friends with the guy at the bar, and like I looked down and he had a red shamrock, which Aryan Brotherhood like kind of deal. And I was trying to get I'm like, man, this might not be good. But luckily the guy's pretty nice, and like he like looked at me and he's like, you know what that means? I'm like, yep. He's like, what's that mean? I'm like, I guess you got to do what you got to do when you're inside. And he's like, man, if there's more guys like you inside, things would be all right. And I was like, thanks, guy, buddy.
Don't beat me up.
I'm
You're
gonna,
looking for the exit and shit,
like,
trying to grab your friends.
yeah, like we got to go.
Time to leave. Yeah, dude, I was up at the fucking Slayer concert, and I was talking to this one dude that was in front of me, like talking to him about whatever, like excited to see Slayer for their last fucking show, and like he's showing me his fucking like Slayer tattoo on his arm and shit like that, and the whole time Sean's like trying to get me to get the fuck away from this guy immediately. I'm like, what's his problem? And he's like showing off his tattoos and shit, and then I was like, okay, brother, cool, nice meeting you. We walk away, and Sean was like, why were you talking to that fucking asshole? And I was like, what? He was just telling me about Slayer, and he was like, did you look at his legs? He had shorts on. I was like, no. He was like, it was just all swastikas. It was a fucking, his right leg was a swastika mural, and the other one was like Hitler doing the fucking the
That's not good.
salute and shit, like on his legs. Like, why would you, like, what the absolute fuck? And it wasn't like a prison tattoo. It was like he had a tattoo artist friend that was willing to do some quality Hitler tattoos all over him. This is what Sean was telling, because I went back to go fucking look at dude's leg, and sure enough, there's fucking Adolf Hitler sitting there giving the Sieg Heil salute, and I was like, Jesus Christ, what an asshole. Like, how did I fucking end up talking to this dude for like 15 minutes?
When my brother came back from prison for his first long stay, he had some prison tattoos on his forearms, and they went down from wrist to elbow on both of them, and they said, some love me, most hate me.
That's the douchiest tattoo
Dude,
I've heard
they
in a
look
while.
really fucking rough, bro.
Sorry, Luke's brother. Is he listening to this in jail right now?
No, he's not in jail, and he's absolutely not listening to this.
I knew some guy who
I hope
had
not. I don't want to get stabbed by Luke's brother.
going down
Fucking
his,
dirty toothbrush.
Oh, he was on Cops once, man. I don't think
What?
that'll
How the
Okay.
fuck is this the first time this has came up in 27 episodes, Luke? You didn't tell us your
Spill
brother
it.
was on Cops?
Well, I try to find it on YouTube, and it's lost in the database of Cops episodes.
But what happened?
Yeah, what was
He
he doing
was-
on Cops?
It was at an AmeriStop. He went to
always an
confront
AmeriStop.
Speedway Steve.
his ex baby mama's new boyfriend, and he went to
Like
go
you do.
confront him there.
Why?
Because I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know him. I haven't seen him since I was 12. He fucking ran up into the AmeriStop, tried to beat him up. The dude whooped his ass instead, punched him in the nose. He got a big old leaky, bloody nose.
Is your brother a big dude or a little dude or like medium? What is
He was little dude.
Okay.
Always been, especially at this time, but nowadays he's much bigger, having spent so much time in prison, working out.
Getting all yoked up.
Yeah, but at the time, if you somehow find it on Cops, the cops interview him in the back of a police cruiser, and he is just bloodied up. Just there's blood all over his face. He's just oozing out of his nose. He's got a rag to it, and he's saying that the guy in the AmeriStop beat his ass relentlessly with no warning. And then they go interview that dude. My brother went to go beat up,
Meanwhile, there's security
Yeah,
cameras
there's
everywhere,
security cameras.
multiple witnesses. Your brother's
Like-
drunk as fuck.
Yeah, he came into the shop. He tried to throw the first punch. He missed and fell, and then he got his shit kicked.
That's so goddamn
Wow.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Do people get, like, let's say you're on Cops, like, do you think they get paid? Like, people get paid to be on Cops?
Fuck no.
Absolutely
What are
not.
you
You don't
talking
think
about?
so?
No.
No, like the police officers and stuff. Like, do you think they pay them? Because they're
They
being
get a
national
paycheck.
TV.
I mean,
for
it's
being
not-
a police officer.
It's not Survivor or Big Brother, dude. It's like it's Cops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Interesting.
they agree. The police department for an area agrees to let this fucking like documentary crew basically follow them the whole time and film these
The
episodes.
people on Reno get paid
For
though,
television
calling
or
the
whatever.
cops.
But I think you do bring up a point because wouldn't you have to sign off if you're on Cops to like not have your face blurred?
Yeah,
Right.
you have to sign a disclosure form.
This
Like,
reminds
slip
me.
me some money for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like those people that are getting caught and shit. Like some people have their face blurred out, but I was just listening to a podcast earlier talking about how they get people to sign these release forms. They'll either give them money before or make them sign before they're on. They obviously not making them these people sign before they arrest them. They're making them sign afterwards. But are they getting paid a little bit for that? Is there a reason? Like, why would you want to embarrass yourself on national TV on like one of the most popular shows at that time?
Well,
because your
some
life
peop-
sucks and you want to be on TV.
Some people are blurred, and they might have some sort of because each episode in each segment, it's usually with a different cop from a different city. They might have some sort of contract signed up with the city.
Maybe that's true.
How much would they have to slide you to get your face unblurred for Cops?
Yeah, let me ask you this. Let's say you
Enough.
got busted for
What am I doing?
indecent exposure.
I'm
you
all-
were taking a pee outside and they caught you and they were just blowing it out of proportion. And they said, well, you're on Cops, so you're going to either sign this release form or we're going to blur your face out. But everyone's going to recognize you by your tattoos, just so you know.
Yeah.
We're in Cincinnati. You're
See-
Mm.
wearing your shirt.
I don't know that there's a lot of people in Cincinnati, Patrick. I don't know that like they're
Yeah.
going to be able to recognize him from his
Has
tattoos.
a Neil to No One shirt on.
Yeah, but then I go to a job interview and I'm wearing like something with a tie and like some long sleeves. Ain't nobody noticed me. I don't know, man. Like I feel like I'd have to ask for thousands of dollars if I do.
Thousands?
Well, if
Fuck
I,
yes,
if,
to
if,
have your
well, if I
fucking
was doing some
reputation
stupid
ruined.
shit like
What if they give you $200? Like,
No.
dude, you were peeing in public.
Yeah, no.
You're
no.
lucky you're getting this.
No,
You don't want $200?
no.
Absolutely goddamn not, Patrick. How fucking desperate are you for money, sir?
All
How
right.
bad do you want to be on Cops?
I mean, I know you could buy a lot of honey mustard with that $200, but
Lots
goddamn,
of honey
son.
mustard is to be bought with that. You can get the fancy
You
shit
can
with
import
that.
some from France, wherever you get your honey
some
mustard from.
France or something.
Is France renowned for their honey mustard?
Renowned? Renowned?
No.
I don't think they are, but I mean, I would
Who
like to
came up-
try me some fancy French honey
Take
mustard.
a guess. Take a guess. Where do you think honey mustard was created?
Someplace very white.
Minnesota.
Someplace very
It's
white.
like
honey mustard.
Utah.
It's far. It's like China or
in the
something,
KFC laboratory.
or
Let's find
KFC.
out.
You think?
Where,
Honey mustard. Where was? Where? Why are we looking this up?
You needed to know, Pat.
Yeah,
Now
I
we're
do
gonna
need to know. I mean,
solve
this
the
is
honey
great.
mustard mystery. Except this computer's slow as fuck, so I'm stalling for time.
Honey mustard.
History.
Patrick, I figured you'd be like a sommelier,
Origin.
I'm
sommelier
learning.
of honey mustard.
You know
The
I'm-
word mustard is derived from the Latin
honey mustard
mustum,
Wikipedia.
Honey mustard, as its name suggests, is a blend. We know what the fuck it is. It's in the name. It's honey and it's mustard. You don't need to break this down.
Notable brands and manufacturers. Scroll down.
Can we? Okay. We gotta stop with this. We got a lot of shit to get to, and the origins of honey mustard probably
Let's get to
isn't
the
one of them.
fucking song, the Plucket Cat Cat.
Yeah, let's go to
fucking
that.
dive into the first
Cody,
video.
I was on vacation last week, and I sang this song on repeat, drunk as fuck, on the beach every single day. People told me to shut up. Let's listen to this shit and revisit that awesome, pleasant memory.
Making my way through the hood, sipping this yak. Niggas about to get blown with the Mac. Riding around the block with the Glock.
Holy shit.
Your ass finna get shot. That's the
Oh, this is fucking
That's the
fantastic so far.
silencer.
Hold on, can we plug this video real quick? Who is this? What is this song fucking name? It's by Dominic Orlando, and I'm trying to scroll down, but Facebook is broke as shit.
Wait, is
Could
It's
be
a parody
could-
video.
might
is
not
the
be.
beat Alicia Keys or who is this?
I don't remember who sang this song. Making my way downtown.
Dun, 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 dun.
We scat it.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, you scared.
Scooty it da ba ba. Scooty ba. Can we get into scatting? Because I wanted to ask you scatting because you were so great with it.
Dude, we
the
haven't
first
even
episode.
finished this video.
After this
bud.
video, of course.
I just don't want to play it all the way through, so we're not
Play
stealing
it.
somebody's content.
I'm finna kill you. I'm finna kill you. And now you bleeding. When I shoot you in your neck.
He's got the giant bottle of Hennessy.
You know I will shoot you in your eyes. That's all I can hear. That
Okay, so that's my favorite song of all time. Right
That
there.
was fucking powerful.
It was
So
powerful.
good.
I don't know what you guys need to look up to find that fucking video because we're terrible at plugging.
We'll
this
post
shit,
it
but-
on our social media once the video is out. Or
That was fantastic.
No, this
But-
Sunday.
So you got drunk as fuck on the beach and just walked up and down
I was
being
like,
"Black, gat, 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 gat."
Yeah, just
I can see why
That's a
people
silencer.
told you. Shut
boom, boom,
up.
boom, 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 boom.
I would have
That's
told
a
you to
grenade
shut
launcher.
right the fuck up every time that I heard you open
Yeah,
your
that-
big
I did.
stupid drunken mouth.
I
They did.
would have joined in with you. That was beautiful.
That was great.
If everyone saw the video, they would do it. They would sing along.
That is pretty powerful.
So
This video is so
I was
good.
thinking about scatting, and I wanted to get back into that.
I hate skating.
Can you scat the Seinfeld intro for me?
Oh man, wait, how's it go?
Ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum. But you guys scat it.
Hold on, wait. Let's get an example. real
Yeah.
quick and
Yeah,
see
Can
if
we
we
pull
can
up the
do it.
Seinfeld
Okay.
intro? Whatever that shit is.
Here it comes.
We need a heavy bass for that fucking kind of scatting.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Skitty bop bop zap zap. Skitty doo. Skitty doo boom. Stone dome. Skitty bop zap zap dome.
Or pause it.
Zap a lop zomp 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 a dome. Skitty loo 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 ba-joo.
We just lost all of our listeners forever. They all just fucking.
So good.
Wait, why is George motorboating Elaine right now in the intro?
Oh, that is how. Oh, I remember that episode.
It looked like she
That
was.
was weird.
Looks like she was forcing that upon him.
She was.
He was arms
2011
in the
people
air.
saw that and were probably like, "What the fuck is going on in that?"
Am I
scene?"
the only one in this room that fucking hated Seinfeld? Like I couldn't
No,
stand.
I'm
Seinfeld.
watching it right now.
That show was so fucking powerful.
That show was boring
It's
as
great.
shit. I
That's
didn't
because
care
it's a
for
show
single
about
episode.
nothing.
It is a show about nothing.
Yeah, man.
I'm actually watching all of it right now.
on
Hate
what?
it. I've
On
tried to
Hulu.
give it a chance 1,000 times.
yeah?
I don't like Jerry
Season 3.
Seinfeld's fucking weird comedy. None of it.
It's
You don't have
it's
to, like,
clean.
it's less
clean
about
comedy.
Jerry.
Yeah, it's about nothing.
George is great.
George is the best character on that show.
Kramer rules, bro.
So I recently had a Talk Boys episode this week, and we talked about Seinfeld and what would be what's in Kramer's apartment.
everything.
What goes on in there? Because I remember he was buttering himself up at one point, and he was like sitting out by the the neon signs and
Yeah.
shit. What was up with that?
I imagine he's got KKK flyers posted around everywhere.
Yeah.
God, could you fucking imagine
After his-
Kramer?
He has a tanning
after
bed
his
in there.
meltdown
Yeah.
at the
Oh,
on
true.
stage and shit.
He has
Yeah, he's a racist.
He has a tanning bed in there. No, he's not a racist. He said the N-word for the shock factor, and
like-
it totally bombed.
And he was coked out of his skull when he did it.
Yeah.
I think that he made a really, really, really.
I don't
poor
know,
decision.
man.
He made a really bad decision.
I don't know.
It's hard to defend this fucking idiot though.
Yeah.
So like,
Can you
Luke
pull that
was,
video? No.
Luke was like defending him like he went to high school with him. Like, no, I know him personally. He's a good guy.
I know him.
Luke's like, he's a good guy. He's got a lot of black
Well,
friends.
you know,
yeah,
the
yeah,
people
Luke
from
has-
Seinfeld, backed up his character, and if you watch the apology video, he looks like he's got a huge amount of fucking panic in his eyes. Like,
Of course they defended him. They don't want one of the biggest money makers, cash cows, for them to be fucking thrown out of syndication.
It
because of
happened
something
after
he's
the
done.
show, though.
Hold on, what?
Yeah,
what's the
this
dude's
was
name?
not too long ago.
It
Michael.
happened after the show's.
Michael.
was
Look up
Kramer with the
Kramer
Laugh
Meltdown.
Factory. Yeah, Kramer with the Laugh Factory is the first thing that pops up.
Is
that
this the
it?
meltdown?
Yeah,
Michael Richards,
yeah,
racist
Racist rant.
There he goes.
TMZ.
Well, here we go.
Oh, this is not good.
I'm excited.
50 years ago, you had your upside down with a fucking fork up your ass.
It's hard to defend
Good
that.
God.
You can talk, you brain now, motherfucker. Roll his ass out. He's a nigger. He's a nigger.
I've never seen this before. This is terrible.
Nigger, Luke is a nigger.
Oh
Wow.
Christ,
Wow.
Luke, you
I take it all back.
Hold on.
Luke, you look so bad right now.
I
You
take
look
it all
so
back.
fucking bad right
This
now,
was
buddy.
the
Take it all
video.
back.
This was the video. I could have sworn he was yelling at someone on the street.
No,
No, dude, he was on
He was doing.
stage.
He got super coked up, and he was like, this after Seinfeld, he was like trying to figure out what to do next, and he couldn't get it, so he decided to go into stand-up. He didn't have a background in stand-up, and he wasn't used to like being like heckled and messed with, and he was just really
Whoa.
out there on drugs, and then this happened.
Dude, what?
Apparently, this shit happens a lot where these fucking famous like TV stars or whatever, their gig gets canceled, and they were on a comedy TV show. So
Jim
they think they could be
Belushi.
Fucking
Right.
Roseanne? Did you
Jim
see her
Belushi.
thing recently?
recently.
Yeah, pull up Roseanne's reaction and listen, because remember, Jay Armstrong from one of our episodes, he was talking about how he had a beef with Roseanne, and she said all that racist stuff online, which canceled her new show.
Right.
Oh, dude, I saw where she had a fucking meltdown. Is that
yeah.
what you're talking about?
Yeah, she had a meltdown. We got to look up 2000. I don't know. How do
Yeah.
we look this up?
Roseanne meltdown.
I mean, I feel like that's gonna give us a lot of results.
Yeah,
She's had a lot of meltdowns.
First one.
No, it's
yeah,
this
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She looks like a
First to
disaster.
Roseanne bar. This is
We
a
gotta
weird
find it,
one.
we gotta
So a
find
couple.
She
First
looks
ticket.
strung out.
Dude.
She's probably so stressed out over this whole thing. Can you imagine? She's got mental illness, obviously. Mm-hmm. Allegedly.
3 outfits.
Well, here's the problem. Like, imagine.
Are you filming?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at her paying their hair.
Imagine
She's
a
stressed.
presidential address, like you're busted with killing a hooker, like whatever, right?
What?
What?
Just no. Hear me out. And they say tonight the president's going to give his address, and then the camera fades out, and it's
She's
president
smoking a cigarette,
on his desk in the Oval Office,
playing with her
and
fucking
he's
ratty
like, I did not have sex
hair.
with that hooker, right? Imagine in his statement to keep and save his job, there were jump cuts, multiple outfits, different.
I'm trying to talk about Iran. I'm trying to talk about Valerie Jarrett wrote the Iran deal.
I know, but you've told me this 300 times. Do you know that if
That's what my tweet was about.
I know, you've explained this literally 300 times.
I thought the was white. I thought the was white.
That's not helping your cause.
Woo! No, maybe it is. Maybe it is because like her whole thing was like the defense behind Roseanne is she's fucking batshit crazy.
Yeah, she's
so if she
crazy.
gets out, she just starts screeching. I thought the bitch was white, like just
Yeah.
losing her fucking marbles. She's straight up proving the point that everybody's making to defend her. Like, oh, she's crazy. She's just she's the equivalent of a fucking homeless person downtown screaming at the wall, but she's just happens to have a gig on TV and be a fucking comedian.
Two signs that you're crazy. One, when they let you smoke inside in 2018 because just to keep you
Shit.
calm.
In Canada,
What's that in
of
the
all fucking
back?
places.
Yeah, and then this, she's got
What's
what?
the-
She got like a maternity statue beside her. What the fuck is that?
They photoshopped that into the picture to make her look crazier. That looks like her. That's a little picture of her down there.
You think so? I don't know.
It's a little pic. Why does it look like there's penis heads as tits though?
Do you want to keep going
I
with this and see
really
what she says?
don't
Does
under-
she lose her marbles some more?
I played a little
Yes.
longer.
Let's see what's going on. You hear the people laughing in the background and
Yeah.
shit?
Don't
Well, that's it.
understand what that.
What the
She was
fuck?
just being real though.
Yeah, she's probably so panicked, but damn.
Well,
what
I'm
a-
sure she's
Why
got-
on TV?
She's getting attacked from every fucking angle, on
Every
every single
day.
social media outlet. And I mean, I'm not going to defend what she said. There was a fucking shit thing to say, but like, she seems like a psycho to me. And for everybody that Rogan keeps running to her defense that she's fucking. He's like, yeah, she's on Ambien, she's smoking cigarettes, she's drinking every day, and she's fucking mixing who knows what kind of allegedly. Don't sue me, crazy ass Roseanne. And all this shit getting mixed together. And she's always been, like, controversial and weird and said fucked up shit. And, like, she baked... I know she's Jewish, but she was baking Jew cookies in a Hitler outfit one time. I was like, holy fucking shit. I know you're Jewish, but god damn. Like, that's... You're going dark, but I don't care. I've never been, like, offended by anything. Like, even if you make a racist joke, if you're just trying to be funny, it doesn't offend me. But, like, you got to suffer the consequences of saying something racist that fucking bombs if, like, you do that. Like, you can't... I don't know. It's hard to defend her, but...
There's no defending it, dude. It's all bad.
I think there is
Who
some
the fuck says that shit on Twitter, dude? Why do you people post that shit?
That crazy bitch, you just saw her. You just saw her losing her marbles.
God,
that's who posted that on Twitter.
Yeah, dude. She's out there.
There was a comedian, Leslie Jones.
Oh, yeah?
She was on that terrible fucking show, The Voice, and she was standing up for comedians in general for saying fucked up shit, for getting heat, because so many comedians are getting heat for saying shit.
Right.
It's on social
That's
media
so dumb.
alone. Yeah, and she was actually screaming on the show, completely out of character and not composed, saying like, it's a joke, it's a joke, it's a joke. Like, comedians are supposed to make you laugh out of the dark shit. What do you want to be sad forever? That you just want to sit there and cry?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a thing where it's like, the internet's just such a new thing. I mean, we're still trying to figure out how it works. I mean, there's a lot of people that have grown up with it. There's a lot of people that haven't, and people are just trying to figure out like how this thing works and the overreaction of stuff. But then when is stuff like you're not overreacting, it really is bad.
Yeah.
And trying to find that balance in between. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens with it. But I mean, on both sides, the far right and the far left, I mean, they're both getting it wrong.
Yeah.
Politics. So that's what the Bastard Sermon's all about. Is just political discussions and
So who'd you vote for? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe we should get into a new video that we found. What is this?
I have no fucking idea. You told me to pull it up.
Let's play. Oh, it's a Ukraine talent show.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Bunch of bald dudes. Goes right up to the table. Grabs what Oh, this is gonna go bad. There's an archer. Okay. Just to set it up, this dude fucking walks up to this table full of judges. It's like the equivalent of America's Got Talent, but in the Ukraine. He grabs a fucking can of soda or a beer or something, sits it on his little dumb bald Elmer Fudd head, and then a fucking archer comes into full view of the camera, and he's got the bow and arrow pulled up. And I know before I clicked on this fucking video that it said uncover this video may have graphic content, so I assume this goes well. Let's see what happens. Are we about to see a guy die on Ukraine's Got Talent?
I don't know.
Isn't that the show?
It's fucked.
Okay, let's see what the fuck happens. This is gonna be so bad.
Oh man,
they're all just watching in amazement.
Oh shit!
Oh no, my dude might be dead.
Oh my god!
What just happened, guys?
Oh my god!
Someone
Did we
died.
just watch a fucking snuff film?
I think we just watched a snuff film.
It says it's a hoax in
Where's
the comments.
Carmen
I fucking
masturbates to
hope
this?
so. Holy shit!
Whoa.
Yeah.
Can we go back and watch that one more time? Though?
Oh, that dude got
I think
dropped.
that reaction was perfect.
Yeah. Well,
Dude, look at this
it really
shit.
was.
That was good.
Thunk.
Oh.
I can't tell, but it looked like it went right into his eye.
It
The music
did.
shuts off, all that happy piano, and everybody's like, oh god. How many times did they practice this shit?
You see
Did they practice at all?
You see the boom mic dude over here? Like, did I just watch a human death in front of me and shit?
Dude, there's no coming back from that. Have people survived to air? Yeah, they've survived through arrows to the head.
You can
right?
take an arrow to the head, yeah.
Little
What
do
are
we
you-
know, the guy who got shot as magician, he's doing the catch an arrow with your eyelid trick.
Catch it with your forehead.
What is the legal repercussions of this guy that shot
the
him?
comments.
Though? Like, what happens to that fucking
Is
guy
it manslaughter?
now? Yeah, it definitely is, right? Like, because just because this guy
Involuntary manslaughter.
like if somebody
right?
if somebody says
No, it's voluntary. He shot a fucking arrow at his head.
I mean, well, he put the beer can on his head. He was complicit.
who the fuck let them do this? What are the laws?
Well, you
in
still go to
Ukraine?
jail if you
There
help someone
are
commit
no
suicide.
laws in
It's true.
Ukraine. There are
Ukraine's
zero
not talent.
laws.
It's true.
The Ukraine's Got Talent have zero
They
lawyers.
probably brushed it under the
No,
rug, dude.
because there's no laws there. They don't need lawyers.
No,
I did-
he had to do 24 hours of community service.
24 hours.
24 hours, that's it.
This dude put. So would that be murder or suicide? Slaughter. Oh, this fucking guy. All right.
Good Lord.
Well, we just watched Human Death. I think that's good segue into what
Maybe.
happens when people fight with real swords. You guys want to check that out next?
Yes.
Oh, Christ.
This one is also.
Do you just sit on the
bad.
internet all day long?
I love swords.
Oh my God, these maniacs are
This is
shirtless.
a horrible idea.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys know this, but when you get cut with a sword, it's not like
It's so bad, Patrick. It's so bad.
When you get cut with a sword in real life, it's not like anything in any show. The skin opens up like the bloody sack it is, and it's loose, and it bleeds.
Why did you make me watch
profusely.
that? My palms are sweating. My asshole's tight.
That was a big wound.
That
Dude,
dude,
they both got slashed. So explain what happened there, Cody.
Okay, so these fucking maniacs are in the middle of the wood with
Shirtless.
Shirtless.
They have chainmail on their head.
They have gigantic fucking katana swords, and they're full on swinging these motherfuckers at each other. They've got like a stupid looking fucking ninja hood mask thing on, and he's got like they both got camo cargo pants on, and they're just swinging these fucking things. And then out of nowhere they stop swinging, and you look at the dude's arm and you see what looks to be a paper cut, and then it opens up into a fucking gaping vagina wound on his arm, leaking blood. I had to look away from.
Is anyone else clenching their fists? Anyone else clenching their fists?
Is anyone
on
else's dick sucking inside of their gut right now to try to protect it from a katana swing?
Well, I'll be honest, man. I thought it was gonna be way worse. I thought we were gonna see an arm go off. So like, just seeing just a cut, I'm like, it's not as bad as I thought.
You thought it was gonna be some anime shit where they swing and the dude stands there for a second, then falls in half.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like some Monty Python type shit where he was just gonna be armless. Like I thought that thing was coming off.
I hate to bring it up. I really hate to bring it up because we're gonna probably have to watch it in order to really get a visual.
Damn it, Patrick.
So there's this video of some guy in the basement. They're drinking, and he placed like either an apple on his nose or a beer can.
Oh yeah, I've seen
and
this.
the guy whacks him with the katana and slices his nose like almost completely off. What the fuck? Cody, you want to watch that?
Can I not fucking pull this up for the love of God?
No, I don't want to. It's horrible.
I don't do
you guys
good
Google
with
it.
blood
What were we gonna
stuff.
say, Luke?
I said I was gonna say that I once saw this video on Facebook. You know how sometimes you'll scroll, and there's meme pages that you like, shit posts like this page has content that wouldn't be safe, or well, when you watch it, I clicked on it, and it was this guy who was self-inflicting a wound with a sword on himself.
Oh my
Well,
god,
that's not good.
It was in the streets of some country far away.
Oh, dude, I saw that where he's fucking hacking away at his backer.
Yes,
he's like trying to prove a point, but then he like starts to bleed out and falls over in the middle of the street.
It's just the one gash from his right shoulder down to his left kidney. It was wide open, as if you could hide stuff up inside of his back.
The dude died for
it was,
sure.
It was fucking brutal.
Dude,
He degloves his whole back with like 2 swings. He's like trying to prove how his skin's stronger than steel or something. He's one of these monk characters that thinks that they can stop bullets with their face and shit.
Nope.
No, not at all.
oh.
It turns out that you have a butter, like your flesh is just made out of warm butter, basically.
we're
As soon as it hits anything, you just barely scrape the table and your fucking hand's bleeding.
Has
Like, what do you
dude
think?
never got a paper cut before? Like, how do you not know this?
It was
Exactly.
makes me cringe.
It was so nuts.
My
Pat,
uncle.
you keep killing my headphones.
Sorry. Can you hear me? You hear? You
I'm good now.
Sorry. It keeps happening. My uncle used to be a cop. He just retired. He used to show us all these fucking crime scene photos.
Allegedly.
I mean, it was like stuff that was shared on social media kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Illegal.
But it was like his friends, and it's like one of his friends got slashed on his back several times, and it looked like just the flesh was just pouring out of the wounds. You know what I mean? Where like it just seems like you broke something that's pressurized, and it just flips up a little bit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
You know, it's fucked up.
I don't know.
Fucked up.
When I was younger, I could watch this shit all day and not even blink. I'd just be like completely desensitized to any type of blood, gore, violence. Like it just never bothered me. But now all that shit makes my stomach like wrench, and like I just start feeling sick and
Yeah.
like I'm gonna puke everywhere.
cringe.
Like, I hate it.
I didn't watch any of that stuff when I was younger. In fact, a friend of ours tricked me into watching 3 Guys, 1 Hammer.
God, that's the worst.
No, I can't.
And
do
it,
that.
it ruined me. It ruined me.
That
But
video
now
steals
where-
innocence.
Yeah, it really does. Because where I am now as an adult, when I see stuff like that, If it's really bloody, yeah. Like, it's my butthole is making coal dust into diamonds. But, like, if it's not that bad, then I'm numb to it.
I don't know, dude. The fucking the katana swing to the arm was pretty bad. When you could see your all the muscle inside your arm, all the veins and everything's just bleeding.
That's what happened when I got
sword
stabbed.
fight looked,
from that.
Yeah, see, I don't really. If it's consensual, I don't really care. Like, if it's like violence inflicted on somebody who didn't want it, then then I'm like, oh man, I can't watch that. But if it's like some dumb shit like that where those guys agree to, and it's like, well, we're just standing at the gene pool at this point.
They're just you just imagine like in any woods, maybe in your backyard. For all we know, there's people going out there shirtless, whacking each other with katanas.
That's what happens in my woods.
Fucked up.
Just sword fights all the time over at my place. Pat, you want to come over?
Have you ever had some fucking crazy friends do some dumb shit like that?
Of course.
Oh my god.
You got some crazy stories for us?
Yes.
Oh man, of crazy friends. Well, there was one time when I got really drunk and I'd broken up with my girlfriend. So she'd broken up with me. So my way to get over it was I like went over to my friend's place, got drunk in their backyard, and they had a sword, and I just started hacking down all of their bushes and just completely derooted everything in their backyard.
Just vandalized their whole yard.
It seemed like the good way to deal with it at the time. It was a really good stress reliever.
You know how much of a maniac you must have looked like to all the neighbors?
Everybody else in the neighborhood? Yes.
Were you drunk as fuck while you were doing this as well?
Yeah, man. You don't go hacking people's backyards up sober.
Some people do.
Sheesh.
Those people are schizophrenic. I'm trying to think. I remember one time my friends got blackout drunk and somebody pulled a knife out, and then another friend pulled a knife out, and they thought it'd be a good idea to have a knife fight.
No, that's
and the lesser drunks of us were like, no. I mean, this is gonna end like in death and the cops. Yeah. So we gotta and they're like, no, it's fine. We're both consenting adults. And I was like, that doesn't mean you're both 16 and you're drunk as fuck. So both of those statements are completely wrong. And you're going to have to put the knives away now, gentlemen. We're outside of my uncle's apartment. We're about to get arrested. And then they're like, nah, we're good. And they start going at each other, and we have to fucking hold these dudes down and, like, remove knives out of their hands. So I've seen some fucking intense idiot shit, but it's never got to the point where I was like, okay, let them start swinging the swords. Like, what kind of asshole friends actually let you start swinging swords at each other?
I mean, what do you do when someone starts swinging?
You swing back.
Is that what you would do if, like, you were drinking with some friends and one of your friends pulls out, like, dude, look what I just got at the pawn shop. Whoosh, whoosh. He's swinging it around and shit, and he's drunk as shit. It's about to hit you.
I mean, cleave his arm off.
How?
Wow.
I don't know.
With a karate chop?
Yes.
I told you not to swing that.
Are you going to use some Steven Seagal Aikido and just, like, flip that thing out of there?
How do you know?
Yeah, that's what you do. That's what it's there for.
I'm going to front flip his arm right off.
How do you feel about Steven Seagal?
No, dude, Steven Seagal.
I gotta respect the master, dude.
Because Paul Mason, who was on recently, he was saying that his styles seem legit. It just seems kind of effortless. But he's been like a triple black belt or something, so who knows? This could look effortless.
By effortless, you mean people are going along with it like a pro wrestling match, then yes.
I don't think they're actual spars. Maybe they're just instructional things. From the way he said, I was like, I never thought about it that way.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think Steven Seagal at one point was legit, but like now the stuff he does.
He looked up Seagal.
Steven Seagal.
I don't know.
There's like a Family Guy episode.
I don't know how to spell his stupid fucking name. What do you want from me?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's just I
would really like to see a real like fight with him.
Like I would love to like see him in like the 80s. Like I think there was a point when Seagal was legit, but I think there is like this level of stuff where people see him as like this celebrity and they're willing to go along with the illusion that he can still kick ass.
Is this thing serious? Sorry, I didn't mean to auto start that.
I mean, I was getting into it for a second.
Dude, the first thing that fucking pops up on the thing was like Steven Seagal fights a girl. Like, oh, what? That's how he proves what a badass he is. Hold on, I didn't click on that one, but I'm about to now. Steven Seagal beating up a girl in a keto session. Oh,
didn't you know when you have a triple black belt supreme, you can hit girls?
You can make it work on a big man if she understands the principles.
He's a big dude, though.
He's a big boy.
Big boy.
If you mean he has a barrel for a body that's just made out of beer and bad decisions, then yes, he's a big guy.
Oh, dude. How'd you know the name of his next movie?
He like snaps her arm.
That forward. I can stop him here.
Yeah, and that's legit.
Yeah, because people move this slow in a real life situation.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else you
he's
could
showing
possibly.
him. Who knows? I mean, it looks like maybe it's just like this is how you do it. This is what you do here.
But these people are like also complicit to this, where he's like feed me your arm, and they're feeding him the arm, and then he's putting them in the hold. It's not like he's fighting people where he doesn't know what's coming. Like he's physically telling them what to do to then set up what he's doing to them. So what he's doing is legit, but they're complicit.
And they're prop falling too. You see her smacking her knee and shit to make extra sound and like banging the mat, and she's doing a flip when he gently moves his wrist over to, and it's like, I don't know.
Have you ever been to, like, when you're at your classes, like they show demonstrations, right?
Sure.
They hit the ground pretty hard. I mean, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, we do break falls and stuff. I mean, sure, you do.
Is that the same thing?
Well, I mean, there's the
See, it's a little weird.
I'm not this is all bullshit.
I don't know what's going on. I really want to see him in an actual fight before I can say that he's bad.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're doing like technique, you can have the thing. You're like, okay, if somebody comes at you like this, you set up like this, and so you do it, and you practice, and you practice, and you practice. You do it over and over and over again. But this is all set up on the thing where, like, he's like, okay, I need you to come here and put your arm here, and I'm going to do, like, it's not like it's a real fight where he doesn't know what they're about to throw. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to
Me too, yeah.
Like, I want to see Seagal in a stand-up fight with somebody.
A death match.
Yeah, or just against...
Death match.
Yeah. I mean, and I think if you put Steven Seagal against an untrained person, I think Seagal's gonna fuck him up.
Who do you think, like, in a death match would win against? Or like who? Like, let's get into that for a second.
Godzilla or Steven Seagal, bro?
Who's winning in a fight between Godzilla and Steven Seagal?
But Steven Seagal's got teeth,
giant bat wings,
and then his balls fall on your face.
He's also unkillable.
Yeah.
But catch, Steven Seagal has 9 sticks of butter in his ass. That's his only flaw.
But his skin's made of armor.
Yeah, bro, we're not answering this question, but I do wish that Steven Seagal was the one that got his arm hacked into in that katana fighting video.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
a real
Steven Seagal trying to fight that swordsman with his Aikido?
See, now that
bro, he just swung that sword twice and just been out of breath. Like, hold on. Like, I just imagine Steven Seagal is not a fit man. Like, I just imagine him not running around.
He was probably like mid-eating donut, kind of, and someone like just jumped on him.
Yeah.
He's fucking brushing off donut dust right now.
I feel like the craft services fucking truck follows this dude around everywhere he goes. Like, even if he's going to a restaurant, he's like, bro, appetizer's not here soon enough. And he goes outside to eat at the craft services truck that he hires to have follow him around wherever the fuck he goes. Steven Seagal is an enormous fat beluga whale of a man now.
He's a big boy. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that, like, if he was out on the street and, like, he's at the bar and, like, you know, Drunky McDrunkerson starts popping off to him, I think he can grab a hold of their wrist and kind of pin it back and be like, yeah,
I
you
feel
don't
like he'd be the
this.
first person to get up and say something.
Isn't he like 6'5" or something?
Yeah, I mean, he's like, what?
Gigantic
he's
dude.
over 6 foot. He's got to be 300 pounds plus.
Do you think he'd give a one-liner?
Of course.
Before he made the move?
Yeah.
What do you think he said? Like,
right now, you're not living the high life. And then he, like, pin their arm back.
And then he tries to gently flick his wrist, and he's like, why aren't you falling through the fuck? Why aren't you being propelled into the air 9 feet and shit? Like, oh, because that isn't how physics works, Steven Seagal. It turns out that...
Yeah, but I
didn't
think,
work that way.
But I think, like, an amateur MMA dude would give him some fits. Like, somebody that has an understanding of a stand-up game, or somebody that understands, like, American wrestling or Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I think Seagal would have a problem with, like, some dude in his 20s or 30s that knows what he's doing.
Wait, is that what he's teaching? Is he Wing Chun as well?
No, he's Aikido.
Okay. Wait, look up MMA versus Aikido.
I don't know if that's out yet, but I wanted to play this one since we played it on the Paul Mason episode and see what you thought from a... Like, are you training in MMA, or is it just, like, jiu-jitsu?
I'm just jiu-jitsu.
Are you ever going to branch out, do you think, or is it just,
Probably not, man. I got these T-Rex arms. I can't be throwing punches at people.
Why not? There's big-ass dudes throwing punches and kicks.
Oh, man, my kicks are even worse. Look at look at these legs. Look, these ain't no dancer legs.
But Joe Rogan's a big stocky fuck, and he's
true.
Like out there kicking harder than UFC dudes.
He's throwing bullets on his feet.
That's true. He's got that Taekwondo background, though.
Have you ever seen that dude kick a bag before?
Yeah, it's scary.
It's like a fucking anime character, dude. It's like, what the like he kicks it, walks away, the bag falls to pieces, all the sand comes out of it. Like, holy shit!
All right. Rogan versus Seagal.
Rogan is gonna beat the fucking dog shit out of Steven Seagal.
Dude, Rogan would just go off on Seagal.
You would fucking karate chop that ponytail off his head and choke him out with it.
So this is a dude, like an MMA fighter, that just clowns people. He's a Chinese MMA fighter that, like, goes up against, like, Tai Chi dudes and Wing Chun dudes and all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
And he's exposing all these fake martial artists, and he just, like, lets them hit him. Like, in this video, he's letting this fucking Wing Chun dude just smack him in the head, like, 15 times. Like, there he goes. Pop, 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 pop. Just standing there, taking it, eating it. And then 1, 2, 3, and then he's got him in a fucking, just throws him through the ropes like that. Like he just does. They don't. None of them hold a candle to this dude ever, and it's like every single fucking video. And like nobody can explain, the practitioners of these other martial arts can never explain to me in like any significant detail why these dudes all get their ass kicked. But they've always got some weird fucking excuse for why they're getting
that third
shit
video.
kicked out of them.
Well, it's just different sports. You're just, you know, I mean, it's one thing, like, if you're, like, that's the way, like, American boxing, it's like, you know, boxing, if you try to use that in a real fight, the way you stand, you're going to get taken down because of how far apart your legs are. But you're both agreeing, hey, we're both going by these rules of the fight.
Right.
So, I mean, it makes sense if you're, like, agreed to, you know, it's like sumo wrestlers, like, they're both agreeing, hey, we're going to do this, and this is the rules of the sport. And that's just the way it is. Like, that makes sense. But once you put it in, like, a street fight situation where it's like, yo, you bring what you got, I'll bring what I got. I mean, MMA, there's a reason why it's set up the way it is. It's because it's what's evolved into the fighting system that it is today.
Absolutely. Yeah. How did you get into doing all this jiu-jitsu shit? Did you have a friend, or did you just get interested through podcasts?
I've been watching UFC since like the first one, and I always thought it was interesting. And then my buddy was a jiu-jitsu guy, and he was coaching it, and he was like, "You want to try it sometime?" So I started going to his place for about a year. We would just like get together, and we would just roll in his apartment. And then a few years later, like I was doing CrossFit and stuff, and I've lifted weights all my life, and I was just like, dude, I'm just bored. Like, you know, I'm like, it's just, I'm bored with squatting. I'm bored with deadlifting. I'm bored, you know, and I'm just like, but I really did like jiu-jitsu, and I went in and I started doing it. I'm like, this is fun. And what's fun about it is, man, it's like, I'm attracted to things where I like a mountain. Like, I like a thing. It's really hard to master, and it takes a long time to get good at, and you got to keep plugging away at it and putting in hours in it, and eventually you will level up. It's like a video game to me. And jiu-jitsu, man, really scratches that itch for me, because it's like, you know, I came in, I'm like 212 pounds, and one of the first guys I went with was my dude Dan. Dan's like mid-50s, like 155. Dan just beat the shit out of me, and every time I roll with Dan, Dan fucks me up. And I was just like, dude, this is cool. You know, and it's like everybody you go against has different advantages with their body and different disadvantages with their body. And it's like some dudes are super tall and lean. Some dudes are really short and stocky. Some guys are, you know, older, but they got like amazing defense. And some guys are younger and they just have pure strength, but they have no clue what they're doing with it. And you get wrestlers in, and then those guys are just pressing forwards the whole time. And it's just like this human game of chess where there's just all sorts of different ways to play it. And everybody you interact with has different strengths and weaknesses that you get to test your stuff against. And it's a great time. I love it.
Do you ever get choked unconscious and you wake up with your ass hurting, and then you reach into your pocket and there's a phone number in there?
Good God.
I mean, that one time when I went to Tijuana, but that was a whole different story.
I'm sorry. I had to derail it for 1 second. But on a serious note, have you sustained any injuries or anything like that?
Yeah, I got my oblique muscle got fucked up, which was not fun.
What is that? I'm not a smart person. You have to break down for me what the oblique is.
The muscles underneath your rib cage.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
Did it just feel like your fucking your obliques turn into shredded pork underneath your skin?
Yeah, I just got my arm pulled and I had slack in it. And when I got pulled, it just like yanked my whole body and just completely pulled one of the muscles, and that was not fun. So I was out for a few weeks with that. But
what happens with that? Is it just pain, or is there twitching, or what's the fucking? How's the injury work?
It just hurts. It's like you sneeze, it hurts. You know, you breathe, it hurts a little bit. You adjust yourself at your desk, it hurts. It's just core injuries suck, man. Like anything, because it's one of those things where like you can't work around it just because it's just part of where you twist and turn and move. So I just had to start doing exercises to strengthen it and get it healed up. But yeah, and I mean, you know, it's one of those things where I just think that like any contact sport, you just have to come in with it with the mindset of like, I'm going to get hurt at some point. It's not if, it's when, and it's just I hope it's not that bad. And I you know, it's just, but I also don't think that like, anybody's like trying to intentionally hurt me. I just think sometimes things happen.
It's interesting to me that like it seems like the reward for you is worth all of that risk to like your personal, like I mean, you might just have a desk job right now and you don't really need to, but you do want your body to feel good. You don't want to feel like shit all the time, and you're like, I know I'm going to get hurt. Hopefully it's not that bad, but I'm still willing to go and continuously do this every like day after day after day, or week after week, or however often you end up doing it. Like, it's interesting to me that like there's so much reward in that, like fighting other dudes and seeing if you could choke somebody out, or seeing if you could tap another dude, or seeing like what you're capable of as a man, or whatever you're doing it for, even if it's just for health reasons, is like it's worth like getting your fucking body just completely fucked up. For me, I've never had that drive to do something like that. I'm like, if it's gonna hurt or if I have the potential to die, I'm not interested. Like, no fucking thanks. But
I mean, you feel good like that whenever you're doing any kind of workout in general.
Yeah, you get those endorphins for sure.
Yeah, you just feel good for sweating, and you just feel accomplished afterwards. Like, I did something, you know?
Yeah.
It's interesting, and it's something I don't think I'll ever stop doing.
No,
Yeah.
No, I feel like, I don't know, man. Like, I definitely believe, like, if you rest, you rust. And so it's just something that I don't want to stop. Like, I need to keep my body in motion.
It's supposed to get harder with age, and that scares the shit out of me because I just want to be like, well, I better be good now, so that way I can still do it when I'm older as well, because it just gets harder.
Yeah, and like I've always had like body dysmorphia issues and like the way I view myself and stuff, and I'm just like, you know, this helps with that. You know, it's like I'm never gonna be like a lean, skinny dude, but you know, at least I can be a healthy dude. And I can feel good about myself and what I'm doing, and my body can do stuff. And it's fun to do things where it's like, wow, man, I didn't think my body could do that. I didn't know I could twist that way. I didn't know I could move that way. Like, that's the stuff that I enjoy. It's like the whole thing about like, if I beat this dude or that dude, I don't know, man. I'm not really into it for that. I'm just kind of more into the journey of like, just learning and getting better and just trying to
it's spiritual
better myself. Yeah, on a lot of levels. I mean, not to go hippy dippy about it, but I mean, there is that. And you in the thing, you know, people say where they're like, oh, it humbles you and stuff. Like, you still run into asshole dudes that are like, they want to like be the bully and they want to like, you know,
there's
like,
always assholes.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like it's the theory of like, you know, you meet 100 people, there's always gonna be one asshole. So you're gonna run it. But on the whole, in the jiu-jitsu community, man, on the whole, everybody's really cool and it's good to work with, and it's just fun. It's a blast. So I'm really happy I found it, and I got something I could set for a goal for the next decade or more, and enjoy what I'm doing.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome, man. There's one thing that you said in there. I don't know how much you want to touch on that, the dysmorphia thing. You said you'd always had body dysmorphia issues. What does yours do for you? Because I feel like I've got something like that. I've never like had any of this diagnosed. I'm not a fucking doctor. Let me set all these caveats first. But I always see myself as like this big fat fucking lummoxy fuck. And I know I'm a chubby dude, but a lot of people are like, you're not a big fat fucking huge beluga whale person. But that's all I see every time that I see myself. Is it like that for you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, me and you talked about some stuff. I think me and you have a lot of the same issues with a lot of our different things that we got going on. And for sure, man, like I look at myself in the mirror and like I see love handles and stuff, and it's just like, oh god, that's awful. It's terrible.
You ever just grab your gut like, fat
fucking
disgusting piece of shit?
Yeah.
Like, I'm yelling at myself in the fucking bathroom all the time. Like, I'm such a maniac, just squeezing my man tits, like pinching my man tits and just yelling at myself. Why can't you stop eating?
With just the hardest dick, the hardest fucking hard on. Just
rubbing it on the sink, just getting the shaft real good on the sink. Yeah, Luke, I don't...
Thanks, Luke.
You're welcome. You fat bitch.
Yeah, dude, I've got all that fucking insecurity exactly like that. It's
Everyone
probably...
has insecurities, dude.
Yeah,
Every
man.
single person has are insecure about something. Everyone else has a different version of you in their head, though.
Yeah, I know. I totally agree with that, and and that kind of helps me like deal with it, because it's like, you look at, everybody's got a thing on themselves that they hate. Like, everybody's got a thing where it's like, oh man, my nose is too big, or my ears are too big, or this is too small, or you know, this and that. And
or my hair is red.
Yeah, exactly. Like, everybody's got a thing.
The worst of all the hair colors.
Yeah. But it's like something, but it's because you live in your body, you see it all the time, and you study it. Whereas like other people, they don't notice it like that. You know, whatever, it's whatever about you. And people don't really judge you on that. I mean, you know, it's just like, once you're friends with somebody, you don't really care like how big they are, how small they are.
They're family at that point.
Yeah, they're just your
don't
friends.
give a shit.
Yeah.
That it never leaves my head though. The thing is, I know that everybody's all focused on themselves. Like, we've talked about, like, you do some drunk shit and it might not even be dumb or embarrassing or whatever, but I wake up the next morning, I fucking apologize to everybody.
I got that problem.
Yeah, and you said you have the same thing.
Yep.
And that's it goes throughout this whole process in life where you're just like insecure about things constantly. I had a fucking point in my head and I lost the point, and now I'm rambling trying to get back to it.
Oh, you
God
fool.
damn it, I hate when that fucking happens.
Well, it's just because life is a role-playing game. game where you only see it through your first person perspective.
Oh yeah, this is what I was saying. Like I get so concerned about what I did, but then I think about it and I take a step back and I'm like, everybody's always just caught up in their own world. The only thing that other people are really thinking about, unless you super fucked up, got the cops called or hit somebody, unless you did something crazy, ridiculous, or you're constantly doing something like that, people are mostly just paying attention to themselves. Like they're not really thinking that hard about other people. They have their own bullshit going on inside their fucking heads and shit.
Agreed. Totally agreed, man. Yeah. And sometimes you just got to take a step back and kind of have that little talk with yourself in your head and be like,
do you really care?
Yeah.
Do you really care? You just got to convince yourself, do I really care? I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I shouldn't.
And just to kind of wrap this thing up, I live by the internet porn philosophy of the thing that I don't like about myself, somebody else out there thinks is sexy. And that's what internet porn has taught us all.
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
Because there's a weird fetish out there for everybody, and it's like somebody's going to love you for whatever that thing is that you think is awful.
Yeah, like sticking a stump leg in someone's asshole and getting off while you fuck them in the ass.
Well, now you're a man.
Let that video die.
Jesus Christ.
Let it die.
Oh, have you seen that video yet?
No, I've never seen this in person.
Yes, you have. You have. You've seen it.
Well,
like
let
to?
me.
You've
you want
seen
to see
it
the
and
worst
it's
video
dead.
of your whole life?
How do we find this, Pat?
We don't.
We
don't find it.
Why not, Luke?
Because it's fucking dead.
He's never seen it before,
It's
Luke.
been on 6 episodes.
It has been on a lot of episodes.
Probably like 12 episodes.
Then it should die forever.
No. It's very important. It's a very important video. This should be
crucial to our blood.
I mean,
no, it's not.
We're gonna talk about this video until it's inserted into the Library of Congress.
Can you mash this
Video
up with
archive.
Bright? Like, can you combine those two together to make it the most bastard sermon thing ever?
We'll figure out a way to do that. We've shut the fuck up about Bright completely though. We don't ever talk about Bright
movie
anymore.
is
Have you got a
garbage,
chance to
dude.
watch
Nah,
it
not
since
yet,
the last
man.
time?
No,
Did you
Dude, why are
forget
you
about
slacking on this?
I know. Well, I
It's so important.
I just get caught up in podcasts. I just got done watching the Ken Burns Vietnam documentary, and that took like 20 hours of my life. So
Holy shit, the one from like the 90s?
no, they just put it on Netflix. It was on PBS a while ago, but it goes through like pre-Vietnam, like how the Vietnamese got into like the separation of South Vietnam and North Vietnam, and then the whole war and in the aftermath of it. It's awesome. I love history stuff. So.
Didn't the conflict start with like the French or something like that?
Yeah, man, the
over there?
French. Yeah, because the French came and invaded them.
And then we basically did the Gulf of Tonkin incident where we bombed our own ships and they were empty, but we lied and said that we had sustained massive casualties, and that was our end to Vietnam. It's like this. It's not even a conspiracy theory. It's like there's documents about the Gulf of Tonkin that basically shows that our entry point for that fucking 10-year war. What was it? It was like 10 years, right? It was from what,
Vietnam was
70?
like 65 to 75.
Oh yeah,
somewhere
yeah,
in there. Basically like early 65 through 73, and then there was a drawdown.
Right. Yeah, but the whole reason that we're in Vietnam in the first place is the Gulf of Tonkin incident, and the Gulf of Tonkin incident was staged so that we would have a reason to fucking declare war.
Well, it was like this.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah, it was, and there was like a whole thing too with like Russia and China in there, where it was like basically if we let the North Vietnamese take over South Vietnam, would communism spread and da 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 da. Yeah, man, heavy shit.
Good God.
Well, on a Ken Burns note, Patrick has a Ken Burns video pulled up. Patrick,
Well, no, it was
you
the
gave me the thumbs up.
No, I gave you a
like
thumbs
you
up
were
because I
ready.
found the Footless, the stump girl.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You have
Yeah.
a Ken Burns
Is that Ken
documentary.
Burns?
No, God damn it! I was.
I don't know
making
what
a
you're talking
fucking
about.
joke, Patrick. Jesus.
Pull it
Ken
up.
Burns is like a documentarian. What's
It's
it
on the
called?
group.
Oh, okay. We shouldn't do this during the podcast. I thought you were gonna pull it up on your phone or something.
Play that video. We'll get to that eventually.
Yeah, this guy.
I think I want to try anal with you. I was like, oh, hell yeah. And she was like, but we got to we got to take it slow. I was like, yeah, of course. So she was like, do you have a carrot? I was like, a carrot? And she was like, yeah, we got to start small and work up. I was like,
Now, just to set this up, this dude has like the squarest jaw of all time. He looks like
He does.
the Crimson Chin from the Fairly Odd Parents and shit. He's got some super red eyes,
Super red eyes.
just smoked 9 blunts eyes. Some pearly whites. This motherfucker cares about his dental hygiene, powerful dental hygiene, and the greasiest hair I've seen all day, or he just got out of the shower.
This guy's actually a comedian who does this character a lot. He's got hundreds of videos where he just has these just ridiculous things he says.
Shout
They're
out.
really funny.
Squeezy Jibs. Let's keep it playing.
I got a carrot. So she busted out my carrot. And, you know, I was trying to be, like, respectful and sensitive and shit, like, just kissing on her and just being all sweet while I worked that thing up. And, I could feel it just got to a point where it was, like, all the way in, and she just kind of, like, looked up at me and winked and was just like, let's put another one up there. I was like, another carrot? And she was like, yeah, another one. I was like, okay. So, I worked that second carrot up there too. And I think at this point, she could just tell that I was not feeling it so much. And she looked up at me and she was just like, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? And I was just like, hey, you wriggling here and just like moaning and it's super hot and shit, so don't get it twisted, but like, I got a lot of carrots up in my ass right now.
He just sits there and stares at the camera for a minute, looking back and forth. And pulls the carrot up and just takes a fat old chomp of that carrot.
This ain't an ass carrot. This is just another carrot that I had left over.
Powerful. All right. Shout out Squeezy Jibs. You're a funny fuck.
How many baby carrots do you think you can fit up your ass?
How many? Dude, like, am I getting paid for this, or am I just doing this out of the passion of carrots in my ass?
Is it for the love of the game?
Yeah, you just
love of the carrot
love of the game.
Which would you rather have, 10 carrots up your ass or 10 sticks of unsalted butter?
Well, the butter is gonna melt and
Yeah,
slowly
the butter's
seep out.
eventually gonna,
But it's
You get
only
a nice
10
butter
carrots.
cleanse.
We said baby carrots, right?
Sure.
Yeah, like 10 baby carrots up your ass, or 10 big sticks of unsalted butter.
Oh,
You guys ready for this?
No.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm not.
This
Luke
is
fucking hates this.
I really do.
If you guys want to find this footless girl, let's not blow the punchline as if it hasn't been on 12 episodes.
so shocked.
What's that? There's something wrong with her foot. She's got a toothpaste tube of fucking lube.
What makes a man is the power in his hands. In his quest for glory.
Oh my God.
Give it all you got to fight to the top.
Just biting that comforter.
So we can know your story.
Now you're a man. A man, man, man. You're a man. Man, man, man.
You are now a man. You're a man. Now you're a man.
Oh my God, she is really getting in there. Powerful. Now, Mansfield, if your wife lost her foot, just out of curiosity, would you?
No,
oh, man, don't
Your
be
wife?
so dismissive. What if she was like, "This is my new fetish. Ever since I've lost my foot, I'm just really."
It's like divorce material. Like,
I mean,
Would you ask for a divorce if she tried to fuck your?
you wake up in the middle of the night to something poking you in the butt. You're like, what is that?
It took her years to build up the courage to finally ask you, but now, years into your relationship, she finally has built up the courage, and she's always wanted to do this. And she really, she sets up candles. She makes you a nice romantic dinner. There's a whole fucking, as soon as you walk into the door, your favorite movie's on, your favorite beer's in the fridge. There's 24 of them, and she just, I've always really wanted to foot fuck your butthole. You wouldn't humor her, not even a toe.
no.
There's no toe. That's the point.
It's just one of those things where it's just like, yeah, man, no. No.
You're right.
I feel like if I went to it with a lawyer and I explained what happened, the lawyer is like, yeah, we can hook this up. We can divorce you on that. I don't think a judge is going to go against you on that. I don't think they're going to make you pay alimony.
Oh, holy fucking God. All right. Are we we're at about an hour. Can we do a break?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. When we come back, we're
Break it
going to
up.
actually get into Mansfield's life and talk to him about some roller derby shit. Stay tuned, motherfuckers.
See ya.
All right, we're back, fuckers. So when we were off the mics, while we were taking our little break there, I think Pat brought up scatting again, and then Luke brought up the fact that Charles Manson in court, isn't this at one of his fucking parole hearings or whatever, actually
Seriously?
did a whole scat performance. So
Not intentionally. He was just speaking nonsense.
so just to set the mood real quick for the second half of this podcast. Let's get into Charles Manson little scat dance lesson.
Are you mad? Do you feel like Wolves Kebab right French? Get French.
He's so fucking crazy. Holy shit.
Out there.
I'm so glad that he died in jail and they never let this fucking maniac out.
Yeah.
Hold on, bro. Don't say that until you read Manson in his own words.
Are you defending Manson now? First Kramer. First Kramer with the N-words.
It's
and now,
happening. It's happening right now.
Now you're defending murderers. What's next? What, Joseph Stalin wasn't so bad after all?
So
his mom sold him for a pitcher of beer.
Okay, do you want to...
Is this scat video, like, meaningful to you? Or is this,
no,
like, what's...
not at all.
Okay.
Absolutely
Do you
not.
think he's crazy?
Yes. Without question.
Luke kind of has that same look in his
He
eyes.
does have that look.
Look at those eyes, and now look at Luke's eyes. They have a similar... Yeah, when Luke, like, really opens those peepers up. Oh, Jesus, man. I don't know if we should be doing a podcast
terrifying.
with this man. Let's keep it going. Let's see what's going on.
That's catchy.
It gets better. Wait for it to drop.
This is going to be my phone ringtone.
We're all dancing.
Okay, so I've got some DJ friends that I'm gonna send that sample to and see what they can fucking make out of it.
Nice.
Get that Charlie Manson fucking. They can have it going at Darkotica. Shout out to Mixwell's Darkotica and my boy DJ Styclo. Maybe we could send him the Scatman dance and see what he could do for a nice goth night.
All right, well, let's move on to our guest here, Tank Mansfield.
Was that intentional?
Yes.
No, it wasn't, you fucking liar.
Luke, do you,
Was it not?
do you want to start a cult? Is that what you're getting at?
Do you?
I mean, I got a free
Would you
couple
guys start?
nights.
What would you do if you had a cult?
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, now we're just in the planning stages of the cult. We haven't even
Would
got
it be a
into
sex cult?
They don't even have a
Be
name
honest.
yet, and you already want to know what their fucking grand scheme is?
Yeah. Well,
Pat?
there's got to be a reason for starting it.
Well, I mean, I feel
What would your cult be about? It's got to be about bad shit, though.
When I said on the second half I want to get into our guest, I don't know that him starting a cult was exactly what I meant. But yeah,
We're
you're right.
learning
Let's
what
get...
he would do if he ran a cult.
Okay, Pat.
It's interesting.
Now that you explain it that way, I'm wrong. Keep it going. What would you do in your cult?
Well, I mean, you always have to have a religious angle to get people in. That's
Yeah.
the thing. And in the end, you become the god of the cult.
That's true.
I mean, like the Shinrikyo thing,
Yeah.
and the Manson
Perfect
thing.
example.
Yeah, exactly.
But what sets your cult apart from everyone else's cult?
Well, because we know the truth.
Yeah. Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. Our truth is the real truth, and everybody else's truth is wrong.
Yeah.
Are you already in on fucking Mansfield's cult? It sounds like you're already a member.
When wasn't I not a
You're
part
just
of
ready
it?
to defend crazy shit like on the ready. Like, today is your day just to fucking plug insane people. All
Have
right,
you
Luke.
guys read Manson in his own words? It kind of makes you sympathize for him to a degree.
No, it absolutely fucking wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
No. What are you talking about?
He was sold by his mother for a pitcher of beer when he was 8.
That's
and then
true.
2 years later, he was thrown into a boys' home in Kentucky, and he was sodomized both by the guards and the inmates until he was forced to get a piece of glass, put it to the boy's throat, and threaten him if he ever did it again, he'd kill him. And then he butt-fucked him.
there you
All
go.
right,
He's innocent. He's innocent.
All right, Luke, now I forgive him for having somebody carve a baby out of somebody else and use the fetus to spell out pig on the wall and all this insane
He
fucking
didn't
shit.
He didn't ask them that. That was Tex Watson.
That was Tex Watson.
Yeah, so eat a big one. You don't know facts.
Oh, eat a big one. Manson's innocent. Free Manson. Let's start printing up free Manson
Manson,
shirts
dude.
for the fucking...
Get his corpse out of there.
Can we exonerate him? Can we fucking presidential pardon Manson?
Let's get him a Hollywood star.
Holy Christ. I feel like if
This
Mansfield
is
did
what
start
is
a cult,
happening.
Yeah, let's get
though,
back
I feel
to
like if Mansfield did start a cult, it would somehow be based in art, beer, and jiu-jitsu. Like, if you could somehow craft a
man.
religion out of that,
Well, how else are you going to open up your third eye if you don't do those three things?
Oh, my God.
See that, Luke? You're in.
making solid
I'm
points.
fucking in.
That's right.
Luke's been in.
I know Luke's been in. It doesn't take much to convince Luke.
Dude.
We're gonna have robes, dude.
I'm in on robes.
Do you remember when he told us the fucking Speedway Steve story and he's just buying this dude 9 packs of cigarettes?
Yeah.
I feel like
It
Luke
was
could be...
2.
It's not too hard to get Luke in your cult.
Yeah, just a little bit
He
of
was a
information.
nice guy. He washed my windshield. And he told me about his day in life.
I've never had a homeless person wipe my windshield off with piss in a dirty newspaper and be like, let me buy him 4 packs of cigarettes.
It wasn't piss in a dirty newspaper.
Sure it wasn't.
It was the Speedway bullshit wiper and whatever dirty fluid they keep out there.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, probably urine.
The fuck's happening to this podcast right now?
Yeah, I just wanted to know.
The rails into
Holy
the woods.
shit. All right. Moving back. The last time we had you on, we missed a couple of big things about your life. You were a roller derby announcer for a while. Do you want to...
Yeah, that happened.
Do you want to break down what roller derby is? Because I don't even think I know what the fuck roller derby is. I'm going to pull up a video while you're talking about it, but I've never experienced that world. I don't know anything about that.
I mean, it still exists. It came back in like the early, like 2005 or so, and it was like really fun from like 2005 to 2010, and then it got like super serious, and now it's not as fun. My wife actually is the owner of the Cincinnati League, and so she still does it. She's cool. The Cincinnati League is awesome, but overall, it's kind of, I don't know. It's gotten like really complex and complicated and political and yada yada yada. But there was some fun times back between like 2005 2010. It was a good time, and a lot of weird shit happened. That was kind of my band days, where like I hear people like come on here and talk about like stuff that's happened weird touring. Like that was when I would like go to different cities and weird things would happen.
So what is it though? I don't even know what it is at all.
It's like people are on skates and they go in circles, like
they beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, it's kind of like a race. Like you start out, there's like the thing called the pack, and there's 4 blockers in the pack for each team. So there's 8 people total make up a pack, and you got your jammers or your point scorers, and they have to pass the pack initially to somebody gets lead jammer, and then that person controls the jam, and when it gets called off, and they come back and score points. So that's the problem, man. It's like one of those things where it's like like when you watch it, if you don't know what's going on or somebody's never explained it to you, it's like watching cricket or something like that. You're like, what the fuck is happening? So you really have to like sit down and watch a game and have somebody break it down to you to tell you what's going on.
Do people get seriously hurt playing this?
Oh, yeah, dude.
It looks like it could hurt.
Yeah, man. I used to coach it, and at least like like multiple times a year, like some girl would break her leg or would blow out a knee or all sorts of nasty stuff. I mean, on the whole, like people are pretty good and don't get like super injured, but it's like any other full contact sport. Stuff happens, people fall down, go boom, and then something breaks, pops, ruptures, all that kind of stuff.
This shit's got to be dangerous as fuck. So they're just on the video that we're watching right now. They're in like a gymnasium of what looks to be like a high school or something, or maybe a
Xavier University.
Yeah.
Right?
This is the Xavier Fieldhouse. Yeah. This is where the women play now. So the Cincinnati Roller Girls play here in the spring. The season's usually like March through June, July. And then I used to like even up to this year, I was announcing games, but it was just because like they couldn't get other people. Like people would call off, and I'm just like, guys, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I just want to hang out and drink beer and chill and support. Like I just want to be a fan.
Right. What was your job specifically? Were you the color commentator or?
Yeah, I mean, so basically, like I grew up watching pro wrestling, and like I figured out I was not going to be a good athlete, but I always enjoy like the announcer dudes, and in any sport I watch, I like the announcers, and I figured out I was good at it. And so I started to announce games, and I could do play-by-play, I could do color, I could crack jokes, whatever you need me to do. And the big thing from watching pro wrestling is get people over. Like whatever you're seeing in the ring, like make sure it's like the stuff you're communicating to the fans at home, like this is the coolest thing ever. And so that was my shtick. I would like tell people like how awesome all these players are and this thing that's happening and why it's special and why it's cool. And at one point, like, I mean, I was calling I got to call a national championship game one year in Philadelphia. I mean, at one point I was, humble brag, like one of the top, 10 top 5 people in the world doing what I was doing as an announcer.
How many years did you do that for?
Like 2006 up until last year periodically. I tried to retire out in like 2012, but like I said, I kept getting pulled back in because of like people would, need a game off, and I was like a substitute teacher at that point.
So when I was in high school and you were teaching me
I was
art
still
shit,
doing
you
this
were
crazy
still doing
shit.
all this roller derby
Yeah,
shit?
yeah.
I never heard you bring it up ever.
Because I kept it on the DL, son.
You couldn't tell all the high school kids
gotta
about
have that private life.
Yeah, fair enough. You don't want every fucking crazy psychopath kid that went to that school.
I wasn't coming up to you like, hey man, what'd you do on Saturday?
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Because I probably couldn't tell you what I was doing on Saturday.
Well, I couldn't tell you what I was doing on Saturday either, so fair is fair.
Yeah, that's 100% fair. Yeah, so this place brought you all over like the nation, or how far did you travel for this fucking thing?
I never did international, but yeah, man, like I went all over the place. Like I'd end up in Philadelphia, I'd end up in like St. Paul, Minneapolis, Philadelphia. Went out to Virginia one time, ended up out there, like
out in the boonies with the meth people.
Yeah, dude, like you just go to all these crazy places. So one of the craziest things we'd go to Detroit because they were pretty close. And there was one time where I was still up in Columbus, And they were like, yeah, we booked a hotel in Detroit. And this whole trip was just snake bit from the jump. So we're like, where'd you book the hotel at? Okay, we got it at Days Inn. Okay, Days Inn, cool, national chain, we'll be fine. Go up there, find our hotel, look at it. It was a Days Inn, but it was originally a motel. So motel hotel. So motels are the ones where there's no, like, you just have your rooms outside. You can, like, walk directly from the parking lot into your room. You know what I'm saying? Whereas hotels have walls. So it was a motel, but they were converting it into a hotel. So while we're seeing it was under construction, they hadn't changed out the rooms yet. So all our rooms had like old school, like sex hot tubs that were like stained with God knows what.
Oh my God.
Dude, it was a hole. Like there was blood stains on the wall. There was holes in our ceiling. There was open light fixtures with wires hanging out. So Detroit didn't tell us that the weekend they invited us up. And Detroit's going through like a renaissance right now. It's like any other Rust Belt city like Cincinnati or Cleveland or Pittsburgh where, you know, it's like now it's like artsy and nice and everybody's got breweries and, you know, come try our handcrafted chicken that we raised on a farm organically. But at that time, it was still Detroit. And so, like, we rolled up and we're like, well, let's go browse around. So we went and, like, drove, like, a couple blocks over from a hotel. Dude, I saw, like, houses with gang graffiti on them. Like, not a 7-Eleven gang graffiti. Like, someone's front door with, like, Crips and Blood stuff painted on it. Like, this is not good. So one of our players was, like, a college girl, and she was not the smartest. She, like, went and decided she wanted to get a workout in. She found an abandoned gym and decided to start using, like, the exercise bike in there by herself in Detroit in an abandoned gym.
Yeah, fucking right. Are you serious?
Yeah, dude.
Why?
Because she was not the smartest in the world. Because she was like,
shit, really? She didn't have any brains in her head?
Yeah, she was like 22 and going to Ohio State, and she just thought being in an abandoned gym in Detroit was totally cool. And then like one of our players who was like in her late 30s, like found her, was like, "What the fuck are you doing?
Are you trying to get raped, murdered, and disappear for forever?
Yeah,
like, what are you doing?
Your burnt body end up in a dumpster somewhere." So that was even before we went and played the game. So then we tried to get to the game. Traffic is all over the place. They invited us up during the weekend of the Detroit Motor Show. Usually Detroit's a ghost town 51 weeks a year. It's the one weekend of the year where everybody in the car industry comes to Detroit, and we couldn't move. Like, we would like get in cars. We got stuck in a traffic jam for like 2 hours going to a venue. It's like 5 miles away.
Yeah. God damn, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I've seen these dash cam videos going through the streets of Detroit, and there are just fucking people having barbecues in the middle of the fucking street. Like, they just...
Oh, it's crazy.
Out there just, like, fucking throwing up gang signs and, like, checking your car out, seeing who the fuck's in there, seeing what your license plate is to make sure you're not from out of town and shit. Like,
yeah.
It looks like a fucking scary-ass fucking spot to be in. Like, I don't... Maybe not anymore, because like you said, everything's becoming all gentrified and shit. They're booting the poor people out, so I don't know, their solution never fucking works. But whatever, point is, I bet it was a scary fucking place to be.
Yeah, dude, Detroit was, it was no joke at that time, man. It was like, when we went to the game, like, we started going in, and we were getting patted down by security, and the dude behind me is like, "Oh shit, they're patting us down." I'm like, "Oh man, that sucks." I'm like, "I got a flask on me." He's like, "A flask?" He's like, "Man, I got 2 knives on me." And I'm like, "What do you got 2 knives?" He's like, "'Cause we're in motherfucking Detroit." And I was like, fair enough, my dude.
You need a gun, though. What is a knife going to do for you if you're, like, nobody's pulling a knife on you. They're pulling big-ass guns out on you. And even if you got a gun, there's usually 10 dudes with fucking giant guns ready to fucking kill you. Like,
man, you sound like you survived some wars in Detroit, bud.
No, I used to know this dude from Chicago that I worked at the bank with, and this is kind of a derail story, but he said that his friend started getting tough with somebody with this group of people in fucking Chicago, and he lived in the South Side in this shitty area.
Oh, yeah.
And he said that this fucking dude, his buddy, started getting all drunk, big balls, confidence with this like group of people that were outside, like pretty much doing nothing, just kind of talking amongst themselves, like talking their little shit to them. But you ignore 10 fucking ganged out looking dudes just sitting on a stoop, like hanging out, like just keep walking, my guy. But this dude had big balls and he wanted to go defend his friend, and they're like, "What you want to do, man? What you want to do?" And he pulls a fucking gun out, and he was like, "Oh yeah," and they all pulled fucking guns out, like everybody. There's babies leaning out the window with a binky in their mouth. They got a fucking Tech 9, and moms are pulling it out of their fucking snatch. Like, everybody's got a gun on him. And he said he just turned around and started walking. He's like, "Man, I'm about to see how these bullets burn." He was like, luckily nothing ended up happening, but he was like, "I learned the hard way that it doesn't matter if you even carry a gun in these fucking neighborhoods. Like, you might just get jacked, and there's nothing you can do about
nothing.
it." Sorry to derail, though.
Oh, no, dude. No, that fit in quite perfectly, because, yeah, man, that was, like I said, man, Detroit's a better spot now, and it's not quite as, I haven't been there in a minute, but, yeah, back then it was crazy. And then, so the first trip we went on with the Cincinnati roller girl, so what would happen was, you would get playoff games every year where like if your team was good enough to make the playoffs, you get to go. So one year we were good enough to go, and it was when I just moved from Columbus, Cincinnati. So what had happened was I had graduated Ohio State with my teaching degree, and like in June, me and my longtime girlfriend, then like fiance, and we had like all these like off and on problems, and it was one of those deals where like I just can't walk away from shit. Like I'm a fixer. Like if something's going wrong in a relationship, like I will staple it and bandage it and whatever I can do to keep this thing together. And then finally she was just like, she's like, look, she's like, this isn't going to work. She's like, I know you're not going to break up with me. I'm breaking up with you. It's over. And I'm like, okay, oh, that sucks. So then I'm like, well, the reins are off. I'm like, you know, I was looking for a teaching job in Columbus, but I'm like, now I can just go wherever. So I ended up like finding a job, you know, where eventually me and you met, and I ended up down here in Cincinnati. So then the Cincinnati team, I was like, hey, can I come be your announcer? They're like, yeah, we don't really have, you know, a full-time person. We'd love to have you come on in. Cool. They're like, hey, we made playoffs. I'm like, awesome. Madison, Wisconsin. I'm like, cool. So I started talking online about going to Madison, and this girl hits me up from another team, and she's like starts flirting with me, and like, you know,
you're like, oh, I gotta bust that slump.
Oh, dude,
gotta give me some strange
slump bust.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know, so I'm coming off of like being, so, you know, like we talked about, or like body dysmorphia, coming out of being in this bad relationship, and I'm just like, somebody likes me, you know. So I was just like, this is gonna be amazing. Dude, this trip it was like a comedy of errors where it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So I never met this chick before, you know, we just talked to her on the internet. So Friday night, we're together, you know, we're trying to get with her. She's a little drunk, and I'm like, okay. So we're outside, she's smoking. I go to make my move, like to try to kiss her. I immediately kick her beer over, which then spills on her Razr 3 phone and just completely soaks it.
At the time, a $950 phone and shit. Like
yeah.
Top of the line of fucking flip phone technology back in the day.
So now she has no phone. She's
What'd
mad.
she say?
Oh, she was pissed, you know, so that's not good.
So the first time
she
that you go to hang, so this is like within minutes of just hooking up with this person that you met up in Madison, Wisconsin?
Yeah.
So
like
cringy.
just walk up and fucking like immediately annihilate her phone, trip over a beer, fall over.
Yeah. So
Holy shit.
Yeah,
I'm in... Oh God, I'm just getting hot with fucking like I've done shit like this, and I just know the wave of embarrassment. Like, what do I do? Oh, what do I do? Oh, how do I salvage this fucking situation?
You don't.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
So no. You're having the correct reaction. So then, you know, I mean, she's upset about the phone, but, you know, she's still trying to make it work. And then, you know, and then she's like, I got to tell you something. I'm like, okay. And she's like, the guy that's staying with me in my room is my ex-boyfriend, but he's like, you know, he like is one of the refs. So like, we're not together, so it's not a thing. And I'm like, but he's your ex-boyfriend? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, and you're rooming together? And she's like, well, yeah, but it's cool. It was not cool. So
when is that ever cool?
No, it's not cool.
Never cool.
Can you picture any scenario where that would be considered cool?
Right. Where like I'm the new guy that like is trying to hook up with her over the course of a weekend, and you know, it's like he's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, oh man, this is not good.
You're sleeping 2 hotel rooms away, and you can hear her getting power fucked in there by this big giant gorilla ex-boyfriend dude.
Wrestling.
Yeah. So then she's upset about the phone. So that just turns into like her power drinking and just getting really hammered. So her ex-boyfriend drives us back to her hotel. And
was he a nice guy?
He was super nice. That's the thing. And like, actually, we became friends later. I actually visited him when I went out to Providence, Rhode Island to hang out with my friend Al. Like,
holy shit.
Yeah, me and that dude got together, and we like hung out one night in his backyard, ate steaks, drank beer, played some weird Viking wood game. It was good. But at the time, we were kind of on different sides of the fence here because he was the old guy and I was the new guy.
Did you know if he was plowing her on the side?
No, I don't. See, that's the thing. It's like they broke up, so there was none of that. But it's, you know, I mean, have you ever been in a situation where like you're the new guy and then the old guy's still in the background somewhere? My dude over here shaking that head. Yes, Luke's been there, right? Luke, what's that like?
It's fucking rough. I want to get into the details, but
give
I
us
can't.
the scenario, you fuck. I
absolutely can't.
Make up names.
Why the fuck not?
Okay,
I get on here and talk about my bloody shits. If you can't tell me about a situation you used to be in, is this person a listener or something?
Yes.
Fuck them. Just tell the story.
I absolutely
all
can't.
Right. Moving on.
Now, moving on.
You sure?
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
So
this is after show story stuff.
Okay.
So we get back to the hotel that her ex-boyfriend's driven us to. I open the door to get out of the truck, and she's hammered, and she falls out and hits her head on the ground.
Jesus.
Dude.
Is she leaking?
No. No, so within like 12 hours of meeting her, I've completely destroyed her Razr cell phone. Now she can't get text or be in communication with her team, and she's taken a header into the pavement because she was super hammered.
How you feeling?
I'm not feeling good. So then I'm like, I gotta bounce. So I get a taxi. I go back to my hotel, hang out with my people. Saturday we talk, and I'm like, look, I feel bad about the phone. She's like, yeah. So I like go to the ATM and I pull out like $150, $300. I pay for her the phone to try to make amends. And I'm like, yeah, can we get together tonight? No, I got to be with my team because we're doing like this team dinner thing. But tomorrow. I'm like, okay, cool. So I end up hanging out with my friends at my buddy's place, end up getting like really drunk and like one of those like ugly drunks where you're hanging out with your friends and you're trying to figure out your life, and then like, you know, you start crying and your friends are like crying with you.
Oh,
and,
dude. Oh, so many fucking nights like that. So many nights just like just belligerently drunk blabbering about your problems to everybody.
Yeah, and like it gets to the point where like we're in the backyard and like this is all emotional and crazy, and like my friend's girlfriend, now wife, like she's talking to me, but like she's so country that she doesn't mind like popping a squat in the middle of the yard while she's talking to me. So she's just like outdoor peeing,
rapturing it.
Yeah, in front of me, just like and still having this like big emotional drunken conversation. So I got to call the Sunday morning game, which is like at 9, and that means that like I don't go to bed till like 5 or 6. So I wake up hammered. My dude, Bam, is like, come on. He's like, get in the car. We got to get food before we go to the venue. And I'm like, okay, I'm still super hammered. He's like, we're going to Bennett's Smutton Eggs. And I'm like, what? And he's like, Bennett's Smutton Eggs. It's a Madison tradition. I'm like, okay. We walk into this Greasy Spoon. They're playing 80s porn on every television in this
Where's
restaurant.
This? Let me write this.
Yeah, well, it's no longer in business. I did get a bumper sticker for it, but if you Google, try Googling real quick, like Bennett's Smutton Eggs, see what pops up, or just Smutton Eggs, Madison, Wisconsin, just to prove that this thing did exist at one time.
What is it though?
Eggs over sleazy.
Yeah, there it is. Bennett's Mutton Eggs, now closed. That was their whole gimmick. They were like they were this place that made Greasy Spoon breakfast and just showed porn on all their TVs the entire time they were open. And I had no clue I was walking into this.
I wish they had some pictures. What
Probably
the fuck
can't
is
take
this?
Wait a minute. Is this it?
No,
Yelp. This is a different restaurant.
It's a Japanese steakhouse.
Very slow computer.
Wrong one.
All right. We get it. It existed. Keep going.
Yeah.
Though.
So we end up there, and so like again, like I'm coming off of like, you know, it's that thing where it's like now am I transitioning from like drunk to like the worst hangover ever, and I like that you got to write down your order and hand it to the cook. So I like write my order. And I wrote something like, you know, like eggs and bacon. I'm super fucking hungover, like on the paper. And so we're sitting there, we're drinking our coffee, and like one of the cooks is like yelling at me, and I'm like, what? And the waitress is like, the cook wants to talk to you. I'm like, okay. So I come over, and I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, I don't appreciate this. And I'm like, what? She's like, you're cussing at me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, eggs and bacon hung the fuck over. I don't appreciate you swearing at us. I'm like, I'm not swearing at you. I'm just really hungover. And I'm like, by the way, I'm like, you're mad at me and you're showing porn on every television in here and I'm the problem? And she's like, well, you could have some decor. I'm like, you're showing porn on every TV in here.
What the fuck do you mean have some decor? Like, I can't use the F word, but you guys can have some lady getting railed in the ass by 3 different dicks. Like, I'm watching this. It looks like a very upstanding establishment. This guy's just sitting there with the little cheesy smile on his face, and there's just a lady getting plowed in the background. I scroll down to the bottom of this while you were telling us this story, and it's got little Bennett's porn collection. More than 8,000 hours just on VHS tapes. No men-on-men pornography, though. Like, okay.
Okay, if I'm
because they gotta have a little class.
They draw a line at Bennett's Smutton Eggs.
Yeah, no gay pornography.
If I'm being honest, the man in that picture does look like a closet predator.
Yeah, that
100%.
Like he definitely has some sort of like
there's a
sketchy ass shit behind him. Yeah,
I mean, can a guy just have a place out there to watch 80s VHS porn and drink a beer with the guys?
No, because 80s VHS porn is terrible.
Luke,
would you prefer like the new age like high definition porn?
Yes, and then we can talk.
So we finally get out of there. We go to the venue, and we got to do the morning game. And I'm hungover, and my co-announcer is super hungover. So we talked to the DJ, and it's one of those games where it's like if you get stuck on the Sunday morning games, that's because it's like the way it's set up, it's like once you're out of contention, it's you know, it's like you got to get games in still. So like on Sunday, like whoever was the two teams that play for 10th spot, 9th spot, you know, so you would either leave in spot 10 or spot 9, and then 8 and 7 would play in 5 and 6. So my team that I was announcing for was playing to not be the worst team there, but we're all in this venue at 9 in the morning. There's no fans. So we just like went over to talk to the DJ, and we're like, dude, we're all hungover. Nobody cares about this game. Let's just have fun. We're like, let's have the Church of Skate. You got any Slayer? And he's like, yeah. And we're like, just play metal the whole game. And so the DJ just played nothing but like Slayer and Megadeth and Metallica and accepted like nothing but like 80s thrash. And it was just me and my hungover co-announcer calling roller derby and just trying not to die.
Oh, dude, that's fucking awesome. Did they film these events usually whenever you would do them? Or
Yeah,
was it
yeah,
just
they
like a live thing?
No, they filmed them. They streamed them. Like they still do that. Yeah, man, it was out there. I mean, there's definitely still videos out there of me announcing these games and talking about them.
Hell yeah, dude, that's really interesting. I never really knew that about you. Like, I guess I knew or I heard about it in passing and shit like that, but it seems like that was a big, gigantic part of your life that I've just never been aware of.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, you know, it was definitely one of those things where, like, you know, after you do it for a while, you know, you do something for so long, it's like, okay, like I said, it's got to a point where I'm like, I you know, like this is no longer a challenge. Like I can just show up, plug in, go do it. You know, I'm like, my interest is gone, and so then I moved on to something else. So that's what I was saying with jiu-jitsu earlier. Like I get into something really big for like 5 years. I try to do everything I can do in it, and then at some point I'm just like, well, this is no longer a challenge, and I move on to something else.
Right. That's the way to do anything, I feel like. Just continual growth. As soon as you stagnate, like, you just die then. Like, you just, like, die on the inside at least, even if you don't physically die. You just feel like you're not going anywhere with your life, and you start to feel sad and depressed, and you get in this fucking hole. Or at least I do.
Yeah,
I
do.
I'm definitely, what's the word for it? You put your
Quitter.
feelings on somebody else or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Well, it's like you meet somebody that's like they've just done the same thing for like 30 years, and it's like, dude, like there's so many life experiences you could have. Why would you stay in the one lane?
Yeah.
Some people are just comfortable in that lane, though. Like, some
That's
people
true.
don't
I feel bad though for those people.
Yeah, it's true.
Not that there's anything against them, but they're missing out on like life.
But there is a comfortability that comes with discipline.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not to say there's not like constants. Like I mean, you know, to the day I die, I'm going to do art. But at the same time, it's like I've done so many different styles and changed things, and you know, there's always something to do different and expand upon. Like I couldn't imagine just like getting stuck in one lane where it's just like, yep, this is the same thing I did 10 years ago, but I'm still doing that exact same thing now. That'd be weird to me.
Right, dude, absolutely. And is that kind of where you got with like the teaching and education system to just become like not a challenge, or did you just become so like, we talked about it on the previous episode, but for new listeners and people that haven't checked out episode 13, as far as like becoming what's the word for it, disgruntled with the education system, was it more of that sort of thing, or
yeah, it was never the students. It was just the system and the place I was working and like the stuff that I had to do. You know, it was one of those deals where it was like, oh, you got to get this many students every year, and you know, like schools compete for kids, and you know, it's like, oh, they can't come to you because then that's going to take our tax dollars away, and we got to keep that, and da 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 da. And you know, it's like, okay, well, how much is this for? We're trying to get kids in the lane they want to be in for the things that they want to go and do in life, and how much of this we're just doing this to keep numbers and keep our money.
It always makes me sad that they don't want to put the proper amount of the proper amount of dollars into the education system, because this is the future generation. This is like don't you want the country to be better? How's it going to be better if we don't educate people better and we don't like pay teachers more money and make this more of like a important thing in the world? Like, I don't understand how we can be what are we, like 26th in education in the world or something insane like that?
Lower.
Yeah.
It's way lower, right? It's something fucking crazy. Maybe we should look it up, but I really feel like if there was more people like you out there that actually gave a fuck, then there would be more students that gave a fuck, because you made me care about like my education when I was in school and shit. I mean, and you were like, not to be like you're just an art teacher or whatever, but I mean, normally I've never had an impactful fucking art teacher. It's always just been a bullshit class that you just did, and it didn't mean anything because it's just like everybody thinks of it as a throwaway class. But like when I went to your class, it was like I'd actually learned something. You actually seemed to care about students. You engaged people. You seemed to genuinely care about the human beings that you were around, and you inspired people like me me, and I had a bunch of other friends that said the exact same thing, that you really did make it like a pleasure to come to school every day. And if there were more educators like you in the world and that gave a fuck, then I feel like the education system could improve. But the only way that you get more people like you is to pay them the right amount of money, like, and to fucking funnel the right amount of money into the system. It's just not happening. It makes me so fucking sad with the way of the world right now.
Yeah, no, and I think that's like a lot of public servant jobs. I think it's something, where we, you ask people to do it for a passion, and it's like passion can only take you so far when you're from the amount of hours and degrees you're asking people to have and stuff. It's like, and these are positions that we should fill with the right people. Like, teachers, cops, like those are important positions that should be filled with good people, the right people that can make good decisions and are going to better society. It shouldn't be about quotas. It should be about what is the positive impact we're having? What is the thing that we're doing at the community to better the community? And it's something that we as a country don't do.
So you have basically don't you have a master's degree, or aren't you working towards a master's degree?
Yeah, I had a master's degree.
And that cost, you don't have to break down your finances or anything, but typically, on average, how many thousands of dollars are you pumping in to get a fucking master's degree?
A whole lot.
Yeah, whole fucking lot of. And like, what is not your salary, but like most teachers' salary, what do they make? Isn't it like fucking 30 grand,
yeah,
40
starting.
grand?
Like you might get some teachers topping out in like 60s, 70s, but that's the kind of thing where like in a basic job, after 5 years in some jobs, like office jobs, you can get to that point, so it's like, and then it's like, well, what are you doing to impact society in your office job?
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, it's like the big point of talking about the money thing, though, is like people like you go out of your way to get a master's degree in something and then go and then they start you at 30 grand, and you've spent twice that to get that fucking master's degree, spent 8 years in school to get this, and like a lot of your time, and then you get no money back you can't pay back this fucking blood debt, which is student loans, basically. Like, you can't get rid of it. You can't file bankruptcy on it. And then they just expect you to be comfortable with that amount of money while they pump fucking money into useless systems that mean nothing. And I feel like this was a super important point to talk about that we missed the opportunity to talk about on the last podcast. So if this gets too real, bastard sermon listeners, well, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I think you're starting to see like people trying to change that. Like, I know I got friends in like, Kentucky that were taking part in their union thing that they had down there where they're trying to get more money, and same thing like in Oklahoma where they're trying to get more money for their teachers. And, hopefully people keep fighting that good fight and trying to get it right. And, we got to get rid of Common Core. We neither the left or the right gets it right when it comes to education. People talk about it. People are like, oh, no child left behind and we're trying to help and all this, and they don't. And it's something that we really have to change as a country. But there's also a thing too. It's like, well, does it help people if our populace isn't that intelligent?
Absolutely.
And that's kind of scary too, when you're banking on, keep people stupid, treat them like mushrooms, feed them shit, keep them in the dark.
Those are the people that are going to be running the world one day.
Yeah. Not good.
To spin this on a little funnier side, what was the fucking craziest shit that you ever had to deal with as a teacher? Like, what was the craziest student interaction? Or like, I'm sure you have a whole list of them. It doesn't have to be the craziest, but what are some standout moments for you as far as like insane students or fucking having to break up some fight between some animals and shit?
You know what? We really didn't have a lot of fights, which was cool. Like, most people were pretty chill. Nobody really got too fighty. I think one of the funniest things was, one of the kids, it was my first year teaching, and we were doing ceramics, and this kid tried to make like some bowls in the kiln, and I busted him on it.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, come on. And he's like, no, man, they're whistles. And I'm like,
out of here,
and I'm like, they're whistles. And he's like, yeah, like, doo doo doo, and like tried to like play it. And I'm like, you got a carb on the side of it. He's like, hey, you know what that is? And I'm like, we're not talking about me right now. We're talking about you and your whistles.
So he called you on your bullshit immediately, and you were like, well.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing where society puts teachers in like these weird roles where like that was something that drove in my head when I was in school. They're like, you can't get a picture taken when you're drinking a beer, or like you can't like be at a wedding, have a picture you drinking wine because your students might see that, and then you'll lose your job. And it's like, dude, like me at a wedding drinking wine is not going to influence high school kids if they're going to drink or not. Like,
they have to dehumanize you and make you not a person. They have to make you like a teacher, fucking upstanding member of society. But you're just a human being. Like,
which creates more of a separation than anything. It's like, it's like you become this like weird authority figure. And it's like, man, I'm trying to bond with these people and get them to trust me. And you want me to be in this weird spot where I'm like this authority figure that's all knowing and perfect. And it's like, man, I got problems too. But I can talk about my problems with these people people and help younger people to be like, yo, man, like you can have problems, but there's ways to solve them. You know what I'm saying?
And these younger people with all the hormones raging through them at this time as they're going through puberty have the most fucking problems, like mental issues and like things that they need to have somebody. Maybe they don't have a strong family structure.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Maybe
I saw a lot of that.
If they let you be more of a human being with these people, and like you were really good at that. Like that's what you were good at, is like just you didn't treat young adults like they were fucking 8-year-old kids. You treated them like
young
people
adults
that are about to be full functioning members of society with jobs that have to interact with people all day long and shit like that. You never treated us like, I mean, obviously you're still the authority figure.
You gotta have
like,
standards.
It never got twisted. Like we never thought that, you never thought that like we ran the shit or anything like that. But it was like, it always felt like you were good at, like you said before, basically. Just
There's a balance.
Making sure that people felt like they were human beings, and that's really important. I had another point, but again, fucking rambling. I can't remember.
Well, it's a chapter and it's closed, and I'm always gonna miss it, and it's something I wish I could do again. But c'est la vie. Things move on.
Right on. All right, you've got some events that we should probably get into plugging and shit like that. Do you want to tell the whole world about what you got going on?
Yeah, man, I got a lot of stuff coming up down at 3 Points Urban Brewing. They just opened up in Pendleton, and their whole gimmick, like their whole theme of the thing is that they are like the art brewery, and so they're working with a lot of local artists to do different art events there. And one of the things I'm doing there on August 17th is a show called "I'll Sleep When I'm Dead 2," where I made over 100 slaps of different pop culture things, and they're a wide variety of stuff, man. I got Star Wars stuff, I got Harry Potter stuff, comic books, B movies, horror movies, all sorts of shit. And,
I'm not prolific. I just put out 100 sketches for. Fuck out of here, son. Yes, you are. God damn it. You put out 100 sketches? That's insanity.
Good God.
That's 30 minutes times 100. What is that? An hour, 50 hours. You spent 50 hours making this gigantic fucking show. That's impressive, man.
That's not
Don't sell yourself short, God damn it. That's impressive.
I mean, but it's just time.
What's wrong, Luke?
You doing that math in your head is what's impressive to me. Like, I'm fucking dumb. I could never do that fast.
30 minutes is half of an hour, so if you have 100, half
but
of
you
that
did
would
it
be
really
50
fast.
hours.
You did do
like
it fast.
really fast.
That was some Rain Man shit.
Like, that was just numbers, answer.
My autism kicked in.
Fuck.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Keep going, though.
No,
So
that's
you got
cool.
the Sleep When I'm Dead 2 with the 100 images that you've created spanning across Star Wars, the fucking WWE characters,
Yeah,
and so on
man.
and so forth.
A lot of different stuff. So that's going to be on August 17th. Come on down. From 6 to 8, we're just going to have it up so you can see it. It's one piece. Like, it's all 100 of them together as one big image. And then at 8 o'clock, people can go up and buy them individually. And the goal is to go from 100 on the wall to a blank wall within the span of the night.
That's
Fuck yeah.
awesome.
You guys get out there, support this dude. It'll be a fun time. Wash your balls. Put on a nice suit. Take the lady out. Do something fucking fun. Drink yourself crazy belligerent. Buy some art. You'll have a good fucking time. That's August 17th at 3 Points Brewery. At what time?
6 p.m. And then so come at 6. You can pose with it, do some selfies with it, whatever you want to do with it. Check it out. And then at 8, we'll start selling them. And yeah, man, they're going to be $15 a piece, or if you buy 2, it's 2 for $20, 3 for $30, etc. And I'll also have original art there in forms of like I just made 100 hop pens. So if you're into beer, I got those. I'll be selling T-shirts. So I'll be selling those, and hopefully I'll have my glassware in by then. So I'll be selling those as well.
You're wearing a badass one of your own T-shirts right now. It's Kneel to No One Cincinnati on the top, or it's like a rocker. Kneel to No One on top. Bottom rocker is Cincinnati, and then he's got the Motorhead logo, and instead of the fucking the skull,
dog head,
the dog head or whatever, it's got a hop inside of there.
Yeah.
It's the only colored part of the image. It's really interesting. How much are you selling those shirts for?
$20, man.
$20. I gotta stop being a broke bitch and go get a Mansfield shirt.
Same.
Yeah, so if you want one, hit me up on Instagram at Kneel to No One, and you can always go to my website, kneeltoknoone.com.
Do you have any other places that we should follow you at or anything like that?
Those are the big ones, man. It's my website, my Instagram. You can find everything through there. And then I'm also going to be doing, again, with the 3 Points thing. So they're switching out their bar where like every 3 to 4 months they're having a different artist do the front facade of their 360-degree bar. And so I'm going to be painting their entire bar with original characters.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to be dropping sometime in October. And then on August 31st, I'm going to be doing live art down there where I'm going to be painting one of the panels. And they're also releasing a new beer that night. and that beer is called 1,000,000%. It's going to be a New England IPA, and I'm doing the artwork for that beer as well, which is going to be kind of like a pro wrestler meets Goro from Mortal Kombat mashup.
I saw a couple of the images. I'm getting excited for it. That's awesome. And you did a previous image for, was it Mad Tree Brewing Company?
Yeah, I did Mad Tree Spry. I did that as well. I've done some work for Street Side. I've done some murals over for Fibonacci, and I'm going to be actually doing live art at Street Side's 2-year anniversary coming up here in September.
Get out there and buy some art. It's cheap. It'll be a fun time. It'll be a good fucking time. Hopefully I'll be able to make it out there if I can get out of work.
So let me ask you a question, speaking of art. So a lot of artists growing up, they always did art in preschool, kindergarten, all that shit. You ever eat glue?
I knew it was coming. I knew some twist was coming.
I've smelled some glue. I've never, but I was never the eating glue kid. Like, I remember there was this girl in my class, Tiffany. She was the eating glue kid. And
Fuck you, Tiffany.
Yeah, and even like, I'm putting Tiffany on blast on the bastard sermon.
You gross bitch.
Yeah.
You glue
should be ashamed.
Just kidding.
Yeah, you always remember the person that eats glue in elementary school, and you always remember the person that shits themselves in elementary school. Those are the people that always.
What happened with the person that shit themselves?
This girl, I forget. It was either Shelly or Sheila. They were twins, but one of them shit themselves on a train ride we were on one time, and it was crazy.
Like, what happened?
They were bullied into suicide.
I mean,
you were just sitting there and you heard it.
Yeah, well, you smelled it, and then it was like, "What's going on?" And she went up and talked to one of the chaperones, and it was like, "Oh my god,
bro!" I went to school with this kid. His name was Brandon. I won't give his last name, but I went to school with him from fucking kindergarten until like 11th grade, until I went to options or whatever. The entire time, the only fucking thing that I can remember about this whole kid is in the 7th grade, he shit his pants in the middle of class, and Brown went down his leg. I don't remember anything else about the kid other than what he looks like. Nothing. That's all that I can fucking remember. Like, if you shit your pants in school, it's over, dog. Like, there's
you heard that, Brandon?
That's all they're like, "What's up, shitty pants?" Like, when he's in the middle of the fucking
shitty pants, my butt.
Yeah, exactly. While he's talking to some girl, trying to awkwardly hit on her and figure out who he is. "What's up, shit pants?" All the way down the hall.
This guy shit his pants once. Did you know that?
Torturing this kid. I was such a fucking piece of shit.
When I was doing student teaching, when I was in college, when I was getting my teaching license, like they would always send me to like the bad high school, so I would always get sent to the stuff where it was like, "Oh, instead of buying books this year, we bought like a new camera system so we could see the gangs fight, and then we knew who to expel."
And you're telling me you don't have any fucking crazy stories from this?
What the fuck?
Get right the fuck out of here. I know you saw a stabbing or two with like a sharpened pencil or.
I mean, it was most of the time it was just like people like yelling and shit. It was never like super crazy. But the worst part was it wasn't those. It was when I had to go to a suburb of Columbus and I had to student teach like K through 5th. Dude, I could not teach elementary school, man.
Lots of poop?
Oh, dude, so much poop. Like, we were in the break room one day, like me and all the other teachers, and one of them started talking about how some kid shit himself, and I was like, "Oh man, does that oh man, that's crazy that happened."
Oh man.
And then like that teacher looked at me with like the 1,000-yard stares of a Vietnam vet, and they were like, "If you do this long enough, you too will have a shit story." And I was like, okay. And they're like, "It happens all the time." And they started telling me how there was like this kid that like went to the bathroom and came back out and was just covered in shit. And they're like, "What happened?" He's like, "A brown wolf attacked me." And like, and this kid had just shit all over the bathroom, had like taken it and rubbed it all over the wall and rubbed it on himself and came back to class.
Why would he do that? Why would a kid do that?
Because he's a comedic genius. He was attacked by a brown wolf.
That's
that
one way to
it's
get out of
Shane
school
or
early.
He's hilarious.
I know what would get me out of school early.
He was in
A brown wolf.
He was in 2nd grade, Pat. It's not like if you did it at work. I mean, he was a little younger.
I remember when I was working at, this guy didn't shit all over the place, but I remember there was this old guy that would come in every single morning at Penn Station, and he would always like, "You got a lemon?" Like, just saying really weird, and that's all. He would always drink iced tea. That's it. But every morning he would go in the bathroom and just piss all over the bathroom floor every fucking morning, and we never said anything to him, and we always cleaned up after him. There's piss everywhere, and like, I'm just wondering what is going on in that bathroom where you're peeing. Literally, it's on the ceiling.
Yeah, dude.
Why do people cover themselves in shit and
that
piss?
says something about their home life.
Something happened.
This guy was like 7 years old. He's got a barbed wire tattoo around his arm.
Well, I mean, everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
if you work in those jobs long enough, you run into people. Like I worked in an art store, and like we had like Count Cracula and Crutchy. Like those were like our dudes that were always
Count
there.
Cracula?
Oh yeah, dude, Count Cracula.
Crutchy?
And
Who's
Crutchy.
Crutchy?
Tell me all this.
Okay, so Count Cracula was the dude. So I used to work in an art store in Columbus, and Count Cracula was the local crackhead. That his hustle was, we had a parking lot beside us that was a pay lot where you could like go and pay for. Like you had the parking meters, and so what Count Cracula would do is he would wait outside and he'd see people like come and point, and he'd be like come on, and like motion people, and then he would find them a spot and point them to the spot, and then when they got out of their car, like then he'd be like, all right, you owe me money for getting you a spot, and people were like, yo dude, no, I was just gonna circle. He's like, yeah, but I found the spot for you. And
Don't you know who I am?
Right.
I'm Count Cracula.
So we would like have to go run the Count out of the parking lot. We're like, come on, man, Count, you got to go. We chase him out of
You
there.
call him Count Cracula to his face.
Yeah, dude. Of course, because he was the Count.
The fuck out of here,
He's
Count
the Count.
Cracula, with your no teeth having ass.
Because he had fangs. That was the thing. Like his front four would bust out, so he just had the vampire fangs. So he was Count Cracula.
Yes.
Powerful.
Damn, that is hilarious.
And then Crutchy was this crazy old dude that was. He wasn't crippled, like he was just a regular guy, but he didn't like, okay, so you know how there's
So instead of calling him the cripple, you guys were nice and called him Crutchy.
well, no, but there's a reason.
Hey, what's up, broken legs?
Fuck leg.
But that's the thing, was like it was because he didn't need the crutches. He was a regular dude that just walked with the crutches, because it wasn't like, okay, so you have two kinds of crutches. You have long-term disability crutches, which is like the metal ones, and then you have the wooden ones, which are the short terms, which are the ones like
for fakers,
right? Or if you break your leg and then you got them for a short time. So Crutchy would rock the wooden ones, but he didn't need them. He just always had them. Like
always using them or walking around with them.
When he would walk into the store, he'd be using them. But then when he would get in the store, he would just hold them and walk around normal. So he didn't need the crutches. They were just
I need to get the better picture.
Weird prop that he had.
So he walks up to the store on the crutches.
Right. The wooden
and then he
crutches.
walks around like normal, holding the crutches on the side in the store.
Exactly.
And then as soon as he leaves the store, back to
the wooden crutches. And
Crutchy.
Like he's collecting disability checks and shit.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what his deal is. But then his other thing was every time he would come in, he would like wrangle one of us. And you'd always throw the new guy at him because it was the same thing every time. He would like ask you about some crazy art project he was working on and then never buy anything. So you'd be like, hey, welcome to Utrecht. How can I help you today? All right, well, I'm doing this thing. We're like, what if you took this paper, this like tracing paper, and you put it in the microwave, and then you put your crayons and you put it to 200, 2 minutes, and then now what would happen? And it's like, dude, you're gonna catch it on fire, right? No, I don't think that's gonna happen because that's what I'm trying to make my art. And every time that dude would come in, it would be some different thing like that, where he would like cook up this weird avant-garde fake idea of an art experiment, corner you, talk to your leg off about it for 20 minutes, never buy anything. Yeah, exactly.
Hobble you to in a corner.
Yeah, he's coming at you with the crutches, and you're like, I don't know where to go. That's hilarious, the picture.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Hey, that kind of sounds genius. So draw a picture, and then instead of actually filling it in with color, just slice up some fucking crayons and then melt it on there.
Like I said, Luke is the most gullible man in America. This motherfucker, Crutchy would come up to him and Luke would start forming a business with him and shit.
We can sell that art.
Yeah,
we can sell it.
Yeah. We make an art show out of this.
We could.
That's a great idea,
We're gonna
dude.
be famous. You hear me? Famous.
It's all about
come
marketing.
on the podcast. Like I met this really cool guy named Crutchy. He was telling me his plan about tracing paper and
Have you guys
wax crayon.
Have you guys talked to the Count yet? He helps everybody find parking spots.
Count Cracula.
Are you guys seriously saying you wouldn't have Count Cracula on?
To be honest,
this
I'd
fucking
love
show?
to hear some shit.
Would you let him into your house,
No,
Matt? Would
fuck
you let
no. We
Count
do this
Cracula and his
outside.
2 teeth inside this
Do
house?
this outside.
This shit would be mobile.
Everything not nailed down would be fucking stolen immediately.
Yeah, you can't hang out with the Count.
No.
The Count's an exclusive character.
So let me ask you a man to man real quick.
Hold on, you didn't. That's a terrible setup. Our next segment is
Man to Man.
Would you rather make out with Count Cracula or Crutchy?
Damn, hitting you with the hard questions early.
No, better yet, which one? Whose dick would you rather suck?
I want to hear the answer, but I have to piss like a racehorse. I'll be right back.
I don't want to do anything with either of them.
Nope, you got to. Gun to your head. You are gonna die if you.
Wow.
And you don't want to die, so you can't say dying is an option.
I feel like Crutchy actually showered. I don't think the Count showered.
You sure?
Yeah, I think if you're in a gun to the head situation, you got to go with who's showering.
Yeah.
Like Crutchy had a little bit of hygiene. The Count did not.
Every time you say that, it cracks me up even more.
That's what happens when you work in customer service in an art store, man. You just
Let's say, would you rather have, like, let's say you were going to get baby carrots shoved up your ass. And it's no stopping it. You're going to get like 30 or 40 of them up your ass. You get to choose who's shoving them up your ass. Would you let the Count or Crutchy shove baby carrots up your ass? Fill to the brim.
I feel like the Count, if you gave him $2, would just get it up and over with. I feel like Crutchy would just prolong it and talk to you too long.
You think so?
Yeah, I feel like the Count would just get it in and get that money and then go out and do his crack.
What do you think this baby carrot thing would be his like art project masterpiece?
I don't think the Count was an artist.
No, that Crutchy.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's definitely something that Crutchy be into, where it's like definitely some weird like.
I'm gonna hold him down. I'm gonna shove baby carrots up his ass. It's gonna be my masterpiece. You like that, Luke? We're gonna be famous. You hear me? Famous.
It's abstract. I mean, you can't say it's not art.
Well, I mean, yeah, especially in a postmodern world where you have, like people doing stuff where they're, like look at me get naked and wrap myself in saran wrap, and then, ooh, look how crazy this is.
Or cellophane.
Yeah. Oh God, those people. I hate those people.
How do you feel about scabs?
I mean, they're nature's salty treat. That's homegrown.
Forbidden chips.
You're aware.
Forbidden chips.
You're aware.
How many are you gonna eat till you're full? Till
you're satisfied.
I mean, do I get honey mustard dipping sauce?
Nope. Dry.
Just dry scabs.
Dry, ripped off, fresh scabs.
Ick.
They're a little soggy on the bottom, a little irony. You know?
So, like, if they're soft, they're fresh, so they're still bendy. They're not crunching yet.
But this isn't even
a little bit of crunch on top.
This isn't even a man to man. You're just asking me if I'm gonna eat scabs.
No, I'm asking how you feel about them. Like, how you feel about eating scabs.
I mean, I'm not going.
Luke's gonna give you a man-to-man about it.
I'm not going on my way to eat them.
I like how Patrick just decided for Luke that Luke had a man-to-man pre-prepared.
Let's hear some scabs.
I have one, but not a scab one. Luke, do you wanna do a scab one, buddy?
Sure. Would you rather have scabs covering your ears, whereas to hear anything at all, you'd have to peel them off, or shove, like, pierce through them?
Okay.
You wouldn't have to tear it all the way off. You could at least break through them
with like
your
toothpicks, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah, whatever can break through. It will hurt as if you were ripping or busting open a scab, though.
Bleeding, right?
No, not bleeding, because that'll prevent
it would probably sting.
Yeah, or would you rather have a layer of scab encrust over your toes, and you have to peel them off for you to spread them and walk properly?
The ears. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like you get a scab and you just got to have that conversation with yourself where it's like, it's going to suck for a second, but we're going to do this, we're just going to rip this thing, we're going to go. And then I just pop that thing off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the toe thing, it just seems like it would take a while, and I don't want to impede walking.
Good point.
So just like take 2 fingers, pop those things out, grab them by the sides, get them, and maybe I monetize it and do like a Dr. Pimple Popper thing where it just becomes like an Instagram story where every day, you can go to my Patreon and watch me peel my scabs off, because it's the internet, man.
Fucking gross.
I'm sorry that I missed it because I was downstairs pissing, but what was your answer to Crutchy or Count Cracula? What would you rather do?
I feel like Crutchy has the better hygiene because he at least had a shower.
Okay.
The Count just did not take care of himself.
But wouldn't your dick slide in perfectly where those 4 teeth are missing? You get that nice gummy action on the top, and the bottom just barely grazing those teeth. I mean, what's left of them? They're probably mushy teeth at this point. They're like yogurt teeth.
Look, we're not talking about your Tinder situation, man.
Yeah, why are you thinking about that?
Because I'm trying to think about Count Cracula giving head. Because you were saying,
Count Cracula.
Would you rather get your dick sucked by Count Cracula and why does a shower matter if you're just getting your dick sucked? I mean, you don't know that either of them brush their teeth.
No, you're sucking their dick.
Oh Jesus. Well, okay, I misunderstood.
You want them to suck your dick?
No. I don't want them to,
sure?
But I thought that was your man-to-man.
You do.
I misunderstood your man-to-man.
It sounds like you want them to suck your dick.
I'd rather be shirtless in camo shorts in a sword fight than either of these things.
How often do you cut your toenails?
Maybe once every 2 weeks or so.
That's interesting.
Yeah, 2 to 3, somewhere in there. I don't know. I don't really have a count. I don't really have a thing on my calendar where it's like, oh, it's toenail clipping day.
As you shouldn't.
Okay, I've got 2 old ones for you, but I think that these will work perfectly. Would you rather always have the smell of shit in your nose, no matter what you're doing, and nothing can get rid of the smell?
Okay.
Only sleep, but like the smell of shit is distracting you from
Just
sleep.
constantly?
It's just warm diarrhea in your nose constantly.
Always fresh.
And it's always like a hot chili diarrhea, like a skyline diarrhea, like, a real bad one, hungover shit.
Yep.
Or once a week you have to cut the webbings of your feet and your hands, like Jackass style, like how Steve-O did it. So just to give you a little video example of what we're talking about.
Oh no!
Paper cuts from Jackass. Have you ever seen this before?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's so fucking rough to watch.
It's always rough to watch.
But we have to watch it. I mean, you want to know what you're in for. You know what shit smells like.
Did you let us cut the webbing of your fingers on the podcast?
What? No.
Can we cut yours, Patrick?
With like a paper cut.
Can I put my finger in your mouth, Pat?
Pat, why are we getting like some weird BDSM stuff where you're like staring me in the eyes right now?
Dude,
I want to know
He's
how
put
far.
his finger in people's mouths on this show before.
Can I put my finger in your mouth?
Luke, when we start the cult, this is not part of the cult.
Absolutely not. I'm with you on that.
Nah.
What about, is Count Chocula or Count Cracula going to be in that cult? Ugh.
If he gets his fucking act together.
Maybe. I mean,
If he gets his act together.
He's not earning a robe right now.
Oh, no.
No.
Here's
Got
Johnny
a
Knoxville.
long way to go.
Long way to go get a robe.
Here's a video demonstration of what you'll be in for. Just once a week, though. You don't have permanent shit smell in your nose. Really, just watch this video before What? Oh, that one looked bad. And they're using like a manila envelope too.
Good. Give me the next one.
You can hear it grinding on his skin.
Once a week, and it has to be all the webbings.
One more. Let me get one more.
Can we get a hand one? Does he do a hand one?
You can hear it. That.
Forget about the pain in your foot. That's a good plug. Take a deep breath.
Oh, Jesus
right, I can't.
Christ.
All right, maybe one more.
Hold on, one more. Just one more. One more isn't that bad, is it?
Lance is always puking.
Yeah.
The pepperoni or the paper cuts?
Look at the size of that camera.
Pepperoni.
All right. So you get it. What would you rather do? This is only once a week, though. You don't have permanent shit smell. Like when you're trying to make love to your wife, just the shit smell in your nose. Like you just got a powerful floppy the entire time. You're trying to eat a nice dinner. You've paid $80 a plate for this fucking super nice restaurant. The only thing in your nose is shit. I mean, you could taste the chicken nuggets and honey mustard from this 5-star restaurant, but I mean, it's just shit like lingering constantly in everything that you're doing.
I'm going the smell.
You're going with the shit over the paper cuts?
And let me tell you why.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about my head, right? It's like when you're driving through farm country, like you're going through Indiana and you get like that cow shit smell and it's just in your nose and you're like, oh man, this is terrible. But the dudes that live there eventually get used to it. Like that's just life. And you eventually get used to that smell and you're just like, yep, this is how it works. But the paper cut thing, it's going to get worse over time because you're going to build up scar tissue. So you're going to start cutting through scar tissue, and you're just going to you're going to have to just up the ante.
Yeah, but here's the thing about my man. You never get used to the smell of shit. It's always bad.
Oh man,
It's like the diarrhea shit.
You ever been in a stall
of a different animal every single day?
You ever been in a stall with a dude where it seems like there's a tire fire going on in the stall over from you?
Yeah.
Somebody's burning their underwear in there to get rid of the something like that going on.
What's
It's
going
that
on
at
over there?
all times, like just tire fire of shit in your nose constantly, and you never get used to it. It's a new shit aroma every day. That's why you don't get used to it. Now with the revised,
I'm sticking with the nose, man. I can't do the paper cuts. It just creeps me out. I can't do it.
What if you have to shove like shit up your nose every morning?
All right, I've got another one.
All right.
Do you really want to answer that?
There wasn't even an alternative. To that one.
Apparently, I'm just horking rails of shit over here, like a like a poopy Scarface. I don't know, man.
Meme coming soon.
Wow.
Okay, so would you rather? Meme coming soon. All right, so would you rather have all day incurable itchy swamp ass, like just all day long? It's like you're
Never
moving your
good.
butt cheeks in
Never
public
good.
on the bus and shit, really trying to,
Never good.
like scratching your chair during this podcast and whatnot, or sweaty armpits permanently, and I mean like full on, your whole shirt is soaked. Nobody knows that you've got like swamp ass. Nobody knows that you're chafing down there and you're itchy. But like
You're
everybody, no matter what you're wearing, you could have fucking a bubble coat on. Somehow you're sweating through this fucking bubble coat. What would you prefer?
Bubble coat.
You'd rather go with the sweaty armpits?
Yeah, man. Sweaty armpits, whatever. You know what? I mean, like...
No, but I mean, these are soaking your shirt. Like,
yeah,
you
dude.
Can't
Oh,
stay dry.
Oh, you mean I'm living my life now? Yeah, that's cool.
Are you just in a constant, perpetual state of armpit
Feel
sweat?
these things.
He's soaked?
He's soaked, dude. Here, do
you okay? Oh my God,
what
that's
did it
gross.
smell like? He is soaked. Here, just feel it on your arm.
Yeah, I live in a world where it's just like somebody took like 2 pint glasses of water and dumped them under my arms on a daily basis. I'm a hot-blooded creature.
That's
like
fucking awesome.
It's not a change up.
All right, I have to.
Oh,
It's
like
you have
I
an
sure
odorless
want to.
sweat. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean
live a healthy lifestyle, man.
Yeah,
Would you lick it?
Yeah.
You won't. You
do
won't.
it.
You won't.
Do it.
You won't.
Do
You
it.
won't.
Do
You
it.
won't.
Just do it.
You won't.
Do it.
You won't.
Do it.
You won't.
Oh my God.
You won't.
Will it happen? It's getting close.
I didn't expect him to do it.
Now you're a man, man. Now
All right.
you're a man.
I feel like that's a good way to end the episode.
Wait, I didn't get to ask you guys one.
Okay, fair enough.
Man,
Yeah, you got one.
it's very rare that our guest has one for us.
All right.
It better be good, man.
I'm trying not to throw up, so let's be fast.
Would you rather live in a world where the only thing you could piss into is a trough? So there's like no dividers. It's just you go in, there's the trough, it's you, it's other dudes. You're like animals. You line up, you go, you flop them out, you're beside each other. That's just life. Or a world where toilet paper doesn't exist.
Can you go over them one more time for me?
All right. It's just troughs. Like there's no privacy. There's no divider. There's no urinals.
Dude, I fucking hate that. My little dick confidence is not working well with this fucking trough situation. All
Yeah,
right?
and it's just trough all the time. So like you go in and you're just like between other dudes and you're just all hanging out, peeing in troughs together everywhere you go.
Even when you shit?
What about when you're at home?
Well,
At home, you have to piss next.
Do you have a trough at home?
You got a trough at home.
I live with Grandpa, so Grandpa
Yeah.
has to trough piss with me.
Yeah, you guys are troughing it. But like anytime, like if you go out to a fast food restaurant, you go to Chipotle, it's a trough. If you go to a baseball game, it's a trough. If you go to a 5-star restaurant, it's a trough. A hotel, it's a trough. It's just a world of troughs. Work trough. You're work troughing it. Like everybody you work with, you're all troughing.
So it's
it.
normal for everyone else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, but you
Because
know,
when we put it that way, I guess it's not so bad.
but
right?
you know what it was
Okay.
like to live in a world without troughs. Like in your head, you know what it's like to have a urinal. You know what it's like to have that divider.
So I never get comfortable.
No.
And what's the other one?
You live in a world without toilet paper.
What
I
about
guess
leaves?
that also eliminates the possibility of bidets existing in this world as
Yeah.
well.
No,
Okay.
it's just you're a man and you gotta stall, but that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
fucking right, my guy. I'm definitely going with trough pissing because you don't know what kind of messy shits I'm taking every day. Disastrous shits. I mean, shits that you gotta fucking. I gotta clean the. Somehow I got on the back of the toilet and the
Sprayed.
seat of the bowl. Just fucking like my pants. I'm looking at the bottom. That's why I wear black pants so that when I shit, like diarrhea splatters out through by my balls. Like my balls are like brrr in the wind.
Like at work?
and just diarrhea sprays all down. Of course, at work. And then,
Ew, you cook people's foods?
Yeah, I don't wash my hands either.
I want the listeners to know that when he was describing this, there was not a smirk or a smile on his face.
It was like looking at Vietnam.
He was being very, very real about it.
I don't make jokes about my poops, Luke. I just tell real stories. All right, so like, absolutely fucking not. Am I taking shits and not wiping my asshole? I almost have to go shit the shower every time that I shit. Like, it's almost a necessity.
Shit in the shower?
Like, I need to go out and get a garden hose in my asshole every time. Like, I wish that bidets
Have you done that?
Is it like someone
You
took
might want to see a doctor.
Is it like someone took a handful of soap or toothpaste and then just mashed it in your hair?
Okay, so
and
I-
then you gotta like try to wipe it out of your hair.
For instance, last night I went to Waffle House at 4 in the morning, as you do drunkenly at 4 in the morning.
That'll happen.
I ate a triple hash brown with jalapenos and fucking American cheese slices.
Dear
yes, I ate it all.
God.
And then I put down a fucking sausage biscuits and gravy and shit. And I woke up after 2 hours of sleep at 7:30 in the morning, like sun's just peeking through. I've got a fucking hot air balloon of lead in my stomach, just beating. Like it's got its own pulse separate from. I'm checking my pulse on my, and it's got a different pulse.
Feel
like
a heartbeat in your
something's
stomach.
living in there.
I want to be you for just 10 minutes.
My stomach starts gurgling, and I farted. And I'm not exaggerating. I almost threw up instantly, like from my own fart. Normally, your own farts you can contain.
Smelled?
I farted. It was like one of those, like the ones that are like. It wasn't like a brap or none of that. It was real hot, like you're starting up a blowtorch, or you just got behind a
starting up a blowtorch,
or like you got behind a car exhaust and put your face up against it. It was like that. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I discolored the couch with this fart, and it just leaked into my nose, and I was like. Huh! And then instantly I had to leave. I was like, I'm just going to be shitting my brains out all morning long. I've had 2 hours of sleep. I'm still a little drunk. Drove myself home. Almost shit my pants going into the door. It was like my asshole knew that I was at home. So it was like, unleash the Kraken. And then my asshole fucking opens up. And I was like, oh no. And I got to like gallop like down the stairs with my asshole clenched. I get down there. I barely get my pants down before I'm fucking rocketing shit out of my ass. And like... This is a normal occurrence for me. I do that 4 or 5 times, and then I decide that I'm going to get 2 hours of sleep under my belt, and I wake up with, like, it's like gurgling, and I can see it. It's like a wave of gurgles inside of my belly. I was like, I'm either about to give birth to an alien, or I'm going to fucking shit my bed right now.
4 or 5 times?
4 or
like
5
in a
times.
day? You have those kinds of lethal shits?
Yeah.
You were like,
oh my fucking God.
Like your life is like Nicolas Cage's Leaving Las Vegas, but shit.
Yep.
Like it would kill a normal man, but to you, it's Tuesday.
Do you think one of these shits is gonna launch you into the atmosphere?
I get worried sometimes. I get a little air room up into the.
You gotta
bowl.
put a seatbelt on when you take a shit.
Does your intestines just ever drop out?
You ever had a prolapsed asshole?
So after you shit, like, how many times have you guys shit? What's the most that you've shit in a day? I think my number's like 10.
Wait,
when I got
not
really sick.
10?
Dear God.
When I got really sick one
How
time,
much
yeah,
poop
like 10
can you
times.
hold?
Well, by that point, I didn't want to look at it, but my asshole felt like... I'm trying to figure out a good way to describe this.
Look at it.
If you took a plum and you like squeezed it really hard, but not until it was juicy and breaking, that's what it felt like was coming out of my asshole. Like I don't know if you've ever seen... Like the anal, like the pink socking videos or whatever.
Oh, dude.
When they got their deep dick in the old butthole there, and then a little bit of the intestines comes out. It's like I for sure felt my heartbeat in my.
See a doctor?
I felt a heartbeat in my asshole, like muscle, and it felt like a beating, like plum heart.
Dude, your ass is a whole other species.
And then I wipe, and I'm like crying, like because look, man, I have to use a lot of toilet paper when I wipe my asshole. So like, you just imagine just the roughage of toilet paper coming through there, just raking shit, and it's just tearing apart my butthole. It's gotten real bad. So by the time
like that,
yeah, dude, it looked exactly like that. Probably. I don't.
No.
It felt like what that looks like.
I don't even know what's happening there, but it's not good.
Nope.
What are you seeing here?
Nope. I'm not happy about seeing that one bit.
Okay, we're gonna have to probably end it after this. But what are you seeing in this picture I just showed you, Cody?
So this girl has her titties strapped up with. It looks like she's got like a band. It's like at the base of both of her tits. She's got this like
they're
leather
wrapped
band.
up like honeyed hams in a butcher shop.
100% accurate,
what's
but they're
up,
like
yeah.
leather bands with chains going around, and then another one at the end, and they're turning like. It looks like salami, like a roll of fucking salami, like it's dark purple.
Yeah, it's not good. That's
Talk
not
about
good.
some mushy perps right there.
Okay, now Luke, I ain't trying to step on you, but I know the hefty hog of Hamilton over here is going to go with the toilet paper because he doesn't have the anxiety of the trough. He's fine.
Oh yeah, I'm completely
He's
fine.
fine.
Ain't trying to step on him. I mean, how can you not? I mean, his dick's just all over the floor all the time.
I know.
Trip over it. While
It's
I'm trying
hard to
set up
like
the podcast.
make sure it doesn't fall in the trough. I'm sure would be the issue.
That's Luke's issue.
Do you actually have big dick problems where you fucking
You ever
your dick's
stepped on
in the
your own
bowl
dick?
of the water?
I've never stepped on my own dick. No, I don't think anyone has ever stepped on their own dick.
yeah, if it swings past your knees.
Long dong silver.
Yeah, maybe if you're like doing some yoga.
Count
All right,
crap,
Pat,
though.
you're the final one, man. You're down. You're either your trough life or your no toilet paper.
I would do the no toilet paper because I will have the perfect squat. No wiping required.
You're a maniac.
Wow, impressive.
I will perfect the human squat.
The no pinch.
The no pinch.
The no pinch
It's just
shit.
gonna drop out. I get up, no rash.
So you're just like rocking like some like CrossFit Games squat action where you can just like hold that squat for a solid 2 minutes and you're good to go.
How loose is your asshole from all that butter that it just falls out without a mess?
That's a question.
Well, through human evolution, because of Patrick perfecting the shit method through hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years, eventually his subspecies of human will develop just a gaping butthole. It won't have any muscle. It won't clench. It'll just, as soon as it is done forming, it'll just come out.
The peak of human evolution.
Patrick, thank you for evolving the human race.
You know, I'm saving the day one poop at a time.
We appreciate it.
And Bastard Sermon listeners, if you have an asshole that you don't need that you would like to give me as an asshole transplant, I would really appreciate it because mine at 24 is worn out like the.
Are you ever gonna go see a doctor, dude?
You should see a doctor.
Haven't been to a doctor in like 10 years. No health insurance.
You should see a doctor.
What for? I'm a smoker, a heavy drinker, and I occasionally abuse drugs and fucking. I don't take care of myself.
Have
I
a
eat
shit
terribly.
attack every day.
And I shit myself like 7 times a day. What's
you have a prolapse
Why should I see a
asshole?
doctor? I don't even understand what you guys are talking about.
You said you shit 10 times and had a prolapse asshole.
And with that, let's end this episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, before we end it, make sure to go check out Mansfield's art. He really does have some fucking killer shit.
Fantastic
He fucking deserves
stuff.
it.
At Kneel to No One on Instagram, and his website, can you find it by going to kneeltone1.com?
Yeah, kneeltone1.com.
Those events were 3 Points Brewery on August 17th?
Yep, August 17th, August 31st, and and then we'll be doing something in October as well. But the one on August 17th starts at 6 p.m. You can start buying art at 8 p.m. So come on out, have fun, and there's going to be a lot of beer there, and you can drink it. So good times.
Yeah, let's definitely get you back on here because we love having you.
Oh, dude, it's always a blast coming on here, just talking with you guys, chopping it up.
Thanks so much for coming on, dude. We really appreciate it.
Man, thanks for having me. I appreciate hanging out with y'all.
Make sure everybody to check out our YouTube as well. We're now on YouTube and then also on Spotify. Make sure we go on there and check it out.
Video episodes coming soon. Today was going to be a video episode, but we couldn't figure that shit out fast enough. So boom. But if you want to check out the Joey O'Neill one, that's a video.
Speaking of Joey O'Neill, check out the STC podcast on Twitter and anywhere else that you can find them. And check out Between the Covers podcast that Joey is helping co-produce with his wife.
If you guys aren't familiar with Joey from the Shit Talking Cunts podcast, he's the one that did our intro song. So
and last episode,
powerful ass intro, Joey O'Neill all day long.
Badass motherfucker.
Right on. All right, we got anything else to plug before we get off this thing?
I think that's all.
Do you love me, Mansfield?
Yeah, dude, of course.
All right, we can end it now.
Big kisses.
Thank you for...
Are you fucking serious, Patrick? Thank you for listening to another episode of the Bastard Sermon. Luke's going to give you a whole list of places where you can find and follow and listen to us while Patrick sits here in agonizing, crushing embarrassment.
You can follow the Bastard Sermon at Bastard Sermon on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram at the Bastard Sermon. If you want to listen to more episodes of the Bastard Sermon, we are on Stitcher, PLAYERFM, Libsyn, iTunes, Castbox, and now recently we are on RockstarsGlued3.0.com. Check them out.
Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that shit.
But don't go to Twitter because we never update that shit because we don't give a fuck about Twitter.
Yeah,
fuck you, Twitter.
Yeah.
As of now.
All
but
right.
That could change. At the Bastard Sermon. And if you really want to go to the Twitter and make that shit happen, it's at Bastard Sermon because some fuckhead took the from us. All right.
That cunt.
That does it. Anything else we need? Did you tell them we're on Spotify now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Let's go. Bye.
See ya, bitches.